Hey, welcome back to the cafe, everybody. I hope you're having a great night tonight. Y'all, we've had yet another disaster going on in Kentucky near Louisville again, 2 nights in a row. What is going on in the state of Kentucky? We're going to look into that and catch up on whatever else is going on in the true crime world out here in YouTube land. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Hit that like button. As you come in the door, please share this out to everybody and anybody. Hit your social media accounts left and right with it if you would. That being said, it is time to make something happen out here. Let's get this show on the road. Here we go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Great to see you again. Thank you guys for jumping back on into the True Crime Cafe with me, Mr. Dago. It is great to be back with you all. Hope you're having, like I said, a great night, enjoying yourselves, and I appreciate you guys taking some time to jump in here with me as we look into 2 days in a row now, basically. Maybe it's every other day. Yeah, I think it was the day before. I can't remember. But Kentucky, another disaster going on in Kentucky. A building collapses with people trapped. I mean, what the HE double hockle stick? Yeah, what I was trying to say. What the hell's going on? That's all I'm asking. Poor Kentucky. Craziness. Craziness at its best, folks. Crazy at its best. Let's see. I just seen somebody here. I guess I'll give them that option as always, of course, if they want. Bada bing, bada boom, forget about it. Come on in, everybody. Get comfortable. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be tonight, and come on in and have a conversation with me if you like. Please. Great to have you guys here. 15 peeps so far, 11 likes. Come on, y'all. Hit that button. It don't cost a cent. Like it up. Pretend like you like me for a little while if you would. And share this out. You see somebody walking down the street, say, hey, that dude Dago's live. You want to go check it out? Check it out. There you go. Yes, y'all, I know. I'm a dork with a capital D. That's why my name is D. Just ask Mikey. He will tell you the truth. Come on. Who we got in here so far? Looks like Mom is in here. Welcome, Mom. You got a link if you want it, Mom, as always. SR triple B +1 SR BBBBBBBBBB. Good evening, dear. Good to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Mikey's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Steven's Adventure. Welcome back to you, my friend. Good to see you tonight. Leslie and Billy, always a pleasure. Always. WB in the house. Great to see you tonight as well. Thank you for joining us. Stitches, what's going on with you? Miss Melissa I Oreo, welcome back to you. Great to see you tonight. Come on down, everybody. Jump on in if you will. And make sure to hit that button to the right and just pretend like you like me for a minute. I appreciate it so very much. Good golly, Miss Molly's in the house. Hello, as Mom would say. Hello, or holler, like Miss Cassie. We all got our own languages in here. Manam. Check it out. Come on in. Come on in. You guys got to go check out my new short that Doodle made. It is very fitting. I'll just tell you that much. I could probably just show it to you. I could probably just show it to you. Let me see where it is, though. Give me 1 minute. Right there. Very fitting. I think Molly will enjoy it. Let's see here. Show. Oh, where's shit? Where'd it go? 1 minute. Let's try this again. All right. Oops, that was quick. Bada bing! What's happening, Miss Mom? How are you?
Hello.
Hello. All right. You're all right.
Yeah,
That
I'm
sounds
alright.
good.
I was
That's
hanging out with the Hatfields and McCoys watching this
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt.
trap, man. Going through it this week, ain't they? No, they're done. They're over now. So I just happened to be on my phone and my notification popped up. You was live, going live.
Awesome.
That's why
Good
I'm
day.
on fire fast tonight.
Yes, he was quick. I'm
Because
happy
normally
that
it's plugged up or over there or over yonder or who knows where.
right. I get it. I'm glad. I'm grateful because now you're here. Check this out. Doodlebug put this together. She always throws me these little shorts out of nowhere. I think she just gets bored and starts messing with stuff. This one's very fitting. Molly, you'll enjoy this. There you go, guys. This is very fitting for this channel for sure.
Mana.
You
Oh,
can't
I
go
love
wrong.
that.
I do that all the time when I'm sitting here thinking or scanning through the peeps to get it all together. I'll start singing it, or I'll sing a part of it, and then Molly will finish it if she's in here. See, she's already singing it. Look. This is what Doodle does when she's bored. Speaking of Doodle, where the hell are you, Miss Doodle Boog? Doodle Boog? Doodle. Oh, Doodle.
No telling with her.
She's all over the place. So, how is your night so far? I know you said you're alright, but how is it going?
It's going all right. It was going all right. I was laying over on the
Good.
couch eating cheese and Doritos and
Cheese and Doritos. Wasn't there cheese on
hanging
Doritos?
out on my phone. Yeah, but it's sharp cheddar cheese and chips for some reason. That's like by poison.
My wife does the same.
It's not
damn.
healthy by any means.
Nope. No, my wife.
Your wife
anytime
does?
Yes, when she wants a snack, usually she'll do it with Doritos if we have Doritos, but we don't get to keep Doritos in this house because I own a teenager. You know how that goes. So,
Right.
if we have Doritos, she'll do shredded sharp cheddar cheese in the bag that like the shredded yellow shit. Okay. And she'll dump a bunch on a plate, throw the cheese on it, throw it in the microwave, heat it up till it's melted, and off she goes. If we don't have the Doritos, then she'll do it with tortilla chips. So there's always some kind of tortilla
Oh,
chips in this
dude,
house.
man.
At the very least.
Scramble a little bit of hamburger meat and throw it in the middle of it. You talking about a good snack.
Usually she'll take fine. We always have, and I don't care what we don't have anything else for, but we always have a little thing of sour cream. She loves it. That's the next thing that goes with that little snack, and she dips it in the sour cream, and off she goes. Like she loves it. So,
It's the little things.
oh my God, SRB. I think I just yes. No. Wow, you're close. The absolute best thing for a snack on this entire galaxy, in my opinion, is if you go get the big pretzels, the big soft pretzels, or you can get the little ones. They taste the same, but I always get the big ones where we used to when I could afford that shit. I loved it. The Tostitos con queso, the Tostitos queso dip, the yellow one. That in the big pretzel. I don't even put the salt on the damn pretzel. I just heat it up, microwave, get it wet, heat it up. You tear that to pieces and you dip it in that yellow queso. Oh my God, you guys. I'm going to tell you right now, it's better than making a baby. I swear to God.
That
To me,
sounds divine.
it's gone. I don't understand because I've tried the other cheeses with it that just don't like the cheese you're supposed to
Right.
have with it. No, that's got to be that cheese. That is insanely good to me. I'm serious.
Oh,
I'm not joking when I say it's better than making a baby.
I might have him pick that up tomorrow. He's going to pick up snacks in the morning because I
Try
work
it.
from home and I get bored sitting here and I snack all day.
I can't do that no more because I'm a fat guy. If I was built like you need to snack for sure. Use a skinny
Oh,
mini.
I'm getting me a nice beer gut that I don't even get to say I drink anymore. So
Gotta love that. The Taco Bell is more cheddar flavor. See, I like the nacho flavor better. Tomboy with their charm is in the house. Good to see you, Miss Tomboy. Moonlit Baby, welcome to you. Virginia Wolf, what's up, brother? Good to see you tonight. I've never heard of Hawaiian soft pretzels. They gotta be sweet. See if that's. I don't know if I'd like that. Um, Somebody else I
I
thought
don't
I
know
saw.
those Hawaiian like dinner rolls, dude.
The
I
little
can
one.
take
Those
a
are.
stick of butter and those. Oh man, I could eat the whole flat just by myself.
My wife took those. I told somebody last night she likes to make monkey bread from time to time. Try making monkey bread with those.
Mm.
Mm, mm, mm. It is shameful. Fat guy dream.
They make good sliders too. You know, I'm talking about like cut them open
Oh
and
yeah.
put you some turkey and cheese and ham in
Yep.
there. Oh my lord,
They
I'm gonna
do.
end up
They
eating before I
do.
go to bed.
They do. If anybody wants to, I should put them on my damn list. I love those pretzels, guys. They're not good for you because it's a straight carb, but oh my god, I'm wanting it now. Stevie Irwin, what's happening? Miss Taylor, hello. Welcome back to you, dear. The sandwiches are good. They're very good. Turkey
Hello,
and ham.
Virginia Wolf. How are you?
The wolf
Oh,
is in the
dude.
wolf. The
Mm.
wolf.
They sell them already made at Publix, but it's not the same as like getting the pack and cutting them open and doing it yourself, man. That just, I
Another
don't know.
good
It's a
thing
different taste.
Another thing to do with those is to take those, make the sandwich with cheese, and we have one of those sandwich presses, and you press it, get it hot, and melt them down. That's really good too. Stevie, what the fuck? What are you talking about, buddy? I heard Mike had the subcontract installing the pressure relief valves. He calls this guy's lazy, but I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about, buddy. Mikey, did you say something up here that I missed? Uh, did I miss something? I'm lost.
I don't know. I might have missed it too. I had food brain going.
What the hell, you guys? Starting to smell goods in the house. Good evening, my friend. Again, good to see you. Casey's make those Hawaiian sliders. Yes. I don't even know what you're talking about, Stevie. I'm looking. I can't figure it out. I'm not the smartest, brightest crane in the box. Miss Smartass Patriots in the house. Welcome back, dear. Wonderful to see you tonight. Somebody go find Doodlebug.
Doodle.
Mikey, what the hell Stevie talking about? I'm lost. Miss Terry, good to see you tonight again. Mom, what the hell is going on in Kentucky?
Dude, I don't even know, man. Like, I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen this much stuff come out of Kentucky in a minute. I mean, we
This is
had
like
that
every
monster for a mother that took her
yeah,
kids' lives, and then that was about the last thing we heard come out of there. And then the whole factory thing, and then now tonight, I saw
yeah.
it on Twitter, and I thought, what's going on? And I grabbed my phone and got on YouTube, and you know, I wouldn't piss down the other creators' guts his throat of his guts were on fire, and I saw they were live, and I was like, oh, let me go in here and see what the hell's going on at home, where this is at,
I was
because
loading
my
it in.
my boys live up there.
Yeah, right. That's why I was asking you. I got a notification about it, and I looked at that, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I was gonna go live anyway. That just gave me a good reason. I went live, or I was loading in the live stream, and then I think it was Alicia that loaded it into the Discord, and I was like, "What the shit?" I'm sure JLR was there. He gets everywhere every time. So
I don't know if he was there. I know he was streaming it, but I don't know if he was there. And
wow,
I don't watch him anymore.
I was just making a joke because he gets every time something happens, he's there. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't
um,
watch him anymore.
I try not
He
to.
hurt my fees. No, not really.
He hurt your what? Your feet?
He
Is that what
hurt
you
my face. No, I ain't never done nothing to that man
said?
other than scare him, walking behind him and scared him. I won't never forget that. I wish I'd have been filming that day.
Mm-hmm. I try
But
not to
no,
watch
I
him.
ain't done nothing to him.
He's a mess. I wouldn't even worry about him.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. And a couple of my wrenches over on the front porch, they're big fans of him, so they get irritated
Mm,
with me because I be talking nine kinds of shit.
well, I'm sure that they will get over it. Danger is back in the house again. Good to see you, sir. Welcome back again. Sergeant Smellgood. Good to see you. I bought Domino's for the shop today. They make pretty good. I don't like them, Virginia. I don't like Domino's like I used to like Domino's back in the day. The first time they were around. Just like the same thing with Little Caesars. They've changed. They went to shit too. The first time they were around, I loved them. First time Domino's was around, I loved them. They're both garbage now. I just don't care for it anymore. I don't know. I don't understand. Pizza Hut I can handle. Papa John's is my favorite, but I don't ever get to eat it anymore because it's not around me anywhere. So as far as those types of places, there's a couple mom and pop places around me that I would prefer. We have a place called Giannino's. They're the bomb, like severe. If you get just a plain cheese pizza from there, just plain cheese, you're not going to shit for a week because they put so much cheese on it. God forbid you ask for extra cheese. It's nuts. And the cheese has got good cheese. It stays melty for a while. You know what I'm saying? Miss Dudo Bug. There you go, Sarge. She's here. I don't like Domino's. I don't like that. That's that stuff that they put on their crust that tears my mouth up, my gums and stuff. Are you still here, Mom?
I'm over here talking away on mute.
Oh, I was
Damn
wondering.
it! I,
It's
I,
okay.
I like I don't care. I've got old apparently, and all the moonshine that I put in my guts is now like, well, guess
Mm,
what? You will no longer be eating pizza. So
yeah.
the I don't know what it's called, but it's like five cheesy different cheeses, and it comes in like a tinfoil bowl, and they got these little bread knot things. I'm
Oh,
probably
okay.
not
Yeah.
saying any of this like it looks on the menu, so I suggest y'all don't try to order what I'm just look for what I'm describing. But it's divine. It's
That
literally
sounds.
divine. You take a little bit of garlic salt and a little bit of butter and add to it, and that's really good. And then like I've learned that like pizza, you can get white sauce now. Like it's almost like an Alfredo sauce.
Right.
So and um the baked tomatoes, bacon, and the green peppers with chicken.
You're killing me, Mom.
It sounds weird as hell,
No, it
but
sounds
dude, let me
good.
tell you,
It sounds good.
oh, it is divine. And like I can't do the red sauce anymore. Like if we're out, or if we're at my son's at Tater's, which is my youngest, who's a big fan of Domino's. Like, I'll eat it out of respect. I'm not going to order a pizza that, only I'm going to sit there and gorge on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like my jam now, man. That's my jam. They come out with that white sauce. I was done. I was like, yep.
That
Give me
sounds
one of
good.
those in a
Like,
thin crust. It's so good.
yeah, we got. Now, I will say Domino's here. My son, Domino's makes a chicken bacon ranch pizza here. Oof. It's got a white sauce on it, and it's got little pieces of bacon, chicken, and you can get tomatoes on it too. That is the damn bomb.
Dude, I like the build your own option. That way I can go through there and pick all the stuffs that I like on there.
Mm-hmm. So enough. Yeah, I can't do the sauce either. My acid reflux is like
Yeah.
fire
It's
bad.
too much.
It
It's way
is.
too
I'm
much.
just sick of it. Mikey
Like, we had
said,
chili the other night, and I took one for the team because I am a Kentucky girl, and by no means am I turning down any kind of chili.
of course. It's
I
too
was
good
miserable
to
the
do
next
that.
day, but it was worth
I gotta eat. I gotta eat my pantoprazole pills before I eat that stuff. But I love chili, especially my wife's. It's crazy good. Mikey says the acid reflux has become like a relationship in my life. Wow, Mikey, you gotta back
Same.
some of that alcohol out of there, Michael. It'll help a little bit. Just so you know, that's what my problem ended up being. I
It
think my
coats it.
stomach lining. Yeah,
Coats
my stomach lining was eaten away. But this is cute. Look at what Miss Doodle did for Miss Molly, our little cat. Here, look at this. This is cute, Doodle. You did it good. You're getting really good with this stuff, Doody. There you go. Check this out. If I can get to it.
Oh my god, I love that. Doodle,
That's
you're
that.
awesome, dude.
That's Molly swinging on the swing, playing the guitar. It's funny because the cat AI is too much for me. The cat is actually courting the guitar like you're supposed to. That is hilarious. That's a good picture of Molly.
It is. That's awesome. I love that.
That's too cute for me. Good job, Doodle. I
I
love it.
love
I love it. That is cute. That's a pretty picture of Molly. Looks good. Good job, Doodle. Um, you are welcome. I love Pizza Hut and can't do red sauce or Taco Bell. We're getting old, folks. Our stomachs are tore up. We partied too much back in our day, so therefore, mm-mm,
Oh,
too
I
much
know
whiskey
that's what it
and bourbon.
was.
That's got to be for me because too much bourbon will
Mhm.
eat. I mean, that was my problem. I drank a lot of it. Crown Royal, and when I was my poor days, I was what the hell do you call that? Black velvet rut gut. Period. So yeah, you could take
I
the
was
paint
gonna
off your
say
walls
that's
with
why they
that.
call it rot gut.
Uh huh.
I don't give a
Showing
damn
up.
what it is. It's all rot gut. When you get
It
old, you
is.
sit back and think, "Damn, I spent all that time partying in fields and bonfires, and now I can't eat pizza. What the hell?" Nobody
Like
told me that this was going to happen.
100%. 100%. That's all right. I don't miss that. Mr. James
No,
Tate,
I
good
don't
evening,
either.
friend. Good to see you.
I ain't had a
I don't. I
drink in
can't
5 years, so I'm pretty
I
proud
can't.
of that.
I can't even smell alcohol now. It makes me sick. I sting. I just can't stand it. The old Christmas regift liquor, 100%, bro. 100%.
The
You're right.
re- I love it.
It's cheap too. It
Hello,
was
Mr.
cheap as shit.
Mm,
Very nasty stuffs. Danger Zone. It's great to see.
I found
I don't know
some
what's going on.
decanters.
Say again.
I found some decanters at the Goodwill last night. They was all in pretty rough shape where I'd bought every one of them. You don't
Okay.
see them no more. They's from the 70s.
We have some. My wife has some old ones. She got a set of crystal that were her grandmother's, and then she's got some like the cheap ones. Pretty cool stuff though.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't get these is I've never seen this. You tell me if you've ever seen this. So one of them was like a city hall, and it said Jim Beam on it, and it had the red label, like the
Hmm.
old. '70s style red labels they put on the top of the bottles. But I
Mm-hmm.
flipped it over and it said it was made in China, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that.
Mm.
I don't know about that
Tain't
shit."
never, I tain't never seen that before.
I hadn't either.
Donald D. Nice, welcome, sir. Doodle.
Let
I
me
swear
try
to
to put
God,
you.
lately we've been doing every time we talk about somebody, they show up within 24 hours. We were just talking about Patriot the other day, wondering where she's been, hoping she was okay. Poof, here she is. I love it. We need to talk about a bunch of other people. See if they'll show up too. Technically, they did. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking about, you and Mikey, Stevie, but
They have their
enjoy.
own little side chat going.
They're talking about
We're
something
all
that I
very
can't pick up on
confused.
yet. I'm trying, but I tried, fellas. I can't get it, but you do your thing. That's okay. Brutally honest, welcome. Good to see you. Ooh, brutally, don't be talking about Mad Dog in here. You're gonna make me throw up on myself. Ooh, Mad Dog,
Oh
my
Lord,
God.
whoo,
Ooh,
that went back some years. Mm-mm.
mm-mm. Great Mad Dog, and that was the strawberry banana. Ugh, yuck.
Ugh.
Nope.
Boone's Farm.
Boone's
Ooh.
Farm. $2 wine. Yes. Strawberry Hill and delicious apple. Reminds me of my hiding behind high school drinking my 40 ounces of King Cobra beer. Ugh.
Whew.
Good God, you guys.
What was the other
Nah.
one? Toro or something?
Yes, there was
I
a
don't know. It's
Toro, Old
it
English
was Toro.
800, the 8 ball. We used to drink the 8 ball. That was gross. Thunderbird wine in a gallon jar. Good God, Tomboy. Oof.
Mm.
Oh yeah, old E Donald. We used to drink that too, or 8 ball we called it. And then we had what was that shit? St. Ides. We used to drink the shit out of St. Ides too. Nothing's Patriot.
Little Mickey's.
Huh?
Little Mickey's.
Oh, I love those. Yeah, little Mickey's.
Mm.
I could tear those up. And what were the ones with the had the thing inside the cap? Were those Mickey's?
The
They
little
had
bumblebee looking thing.
they had little stings inside the caps. The wide mouth, yeah, danger. Little Mickey's, and then there was another one too. Little kings. Thank you, Donald. Yeah, we used to drink all that nasty stuff. Cannot
Hey,
imagine it now.
no, no, I'm with
Tequila.
Doodle. I'll stick with my sweet tea. I've even done really good on Mountain Dews. I've had 2 Mountain Dews in the past month. I'm real proud of myself.
Oh no, Patriot. We was just wondering we hadn't seen you in a while and we missed you, so that's why we was talking about you. And you're here. King Cobra. That's yes, sir. That was I drank the shit out of that. It was nasty. Oh, nasty, nasty. And then right before I quit drinking, I was drinking those because it was quick. Steel Reserve tall boy cans. You want to talk about gross. It was like drinking gasoline. It worked. I
Oh, I
could
never
drink
had
two of
that.
those, tall boys, and I was face down. No lie. Ice House.
Mm.
That's how the state or the Steel Reserve was like. Dan it was like kind of like that Ice House shit.
Ugh.
Apple or
No, I could
grape
never do
malt.
ice.
Steel Reserve. Yes. Oof. That's that weird kind of. I can't think of what the hell they call it. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all.
Ruh-roh. He done left us. Wisdom. So how y'all doing? How's the weather? Hello, Matahari. How's the weather? It's 73 here. Not too bad, I reckon. Those of us that are moms that's got more than one kid. So I got to tell y'all something funny while he's gone. So one of them lives in central Kentucky and the other one lives in eastern Kentucky. And Tater's my big one. Tater's my lumberjack. So I was talking to him and he's sitting out on the porch. And I said, "Is it getting cold up there, bub?" And he said, "Oh, Mom, It's getting a little chilly up here. And then I talked to Minnie about 30 minutes later because they called back to back. And I asked him, I said, Mom, is it getting cold up there? He said, Mom, Mother, I've been freezing for 2 months. They like night and day.
Welcome, Walt Harris. Sorry, I just had to field goal punt a possum off my porch again.
Oh, no.
It's the size of my dog too. It keeps messing with my
Oh,
cat.
that's not good.
He's like this big before the tail, and his head's like this, and he just stands there and stares at you. You stomp your foot, he don't care. So I
Do
had
you
to go,
keep
and
cat food outside for the cat?
unfortunately, that's why he keeps coming. Yes, I
Yeah, I
know.
was
So
going to
we
say
just,
that's why he's coming.
yeah, and I don't like hurting animals. I don't care who they are, but that one he goes after my cat, and I don't like that. He's a nasty looking thing too. So I just kind of I don't kick him like hard kick him. I kind of take my foot and slide up and kind of shove him with my foot, if you know what I mean. Because
Yeah.
he won't leave. He's not afraid of nothing. And it's the same damn one. I know it is. My cat just sits there and stares at him, and then he'll go at the cat, and then the cat and him will fight. And I'm afraid he's gonna give my cat rabies or some shit. So
Yeah, that's you don't want your cat to get hurt. Like a
he won't
possum,
come in.
those are vicious little suckers.
Gross. They hiss at you and all sorts of shit. He
Hmm.
won't come, and the cat won't come in the house. I've tried everything I can do to bring that cat inside the house. He will not do it. He gets pissed at me. If I bring him in and shut the door, he'll stand by the door and do that whole wow,
Oh
wow.
no.
You know. So okay, fine. You're back outside. Whatever.
Mm-mm. And it wouldn't even help to put him a tree or nothing out there, like one of them cat tree things, because a damn possum would just climb it.
He's got the cat tree in the garage, and he goes in the garage in the wintertime. He's got a whole setup and it's heated in the house and all that. That's where he likes to be, but and he can go in and out um when and if he wants to. It's weird because we have a like a doggy door type thing
Hmm.
on the man door for the garage. And I was nervous about putting it in when we did. We had one inside the house here when we first moved in that they had for their cat. They would go up and down the basement stairs. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to put this in the garage because if he can go in and out of it, that means other things can. And I don't want other things, raccoons and possums and shit in there, but they don't go in there. I don't know why. It's weird.
That's weird.
That's what I thought.
Especially raccoons. You would think they would venture in there.
No, they climb up on my porch and hang out like they're having a party or something.
We don't got.
Welcome.
The whole time I've been down here, I ain't seen a possum. We have armadillos that come in the yard, and then 2 nights ago, Kobe, he's a Staffordshire, the pit bull, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't ever hear a peep out of him. Like he's just he's a very quiet, peaceful dog, and he
Uh-huh.
shot out towards the back door and was just raising nine kinds of hell. And of course, I got up and walked back there and looked, and I didn't see nothing. I thought, what the hell was wrong with him? And the next day, we went to go over to the Dollar General store, and I'd be damned if there wasn't bear paw in my by my car. And I said, that's what the hell he was raising hell about. That damn bear's done coming around again.
Nice. We got everything here. I got coyotes. I have possums, raccoons. I think I got a damn Bigfoot. I got the Moss Man over here on the other side. The possums live up underneath my barn in the back. So yeah, we got a little bit of everything back here. Um, Pretty interesting. Welcome, Ro. Matahari. Matahari. Good to see you. Um, Walt Harris. Hello. Dago here. Let me see. Matahara. Matahari. What about Gypshit? Name it Gypshit. Yeah, that's a good one.
The possum.
Teddy Martin. No rain. We had rain this morning, Donald. Not right now, but we're supposed to get more. It's chilly out tonight again. It was like 25 last night. It's a little cold. I went outside this morning.
Did you say 24?
At 25 last night. It got low last night. I didn't know that. I went
Oh,
outside. First time I took the dog out about 7:30 this or about 7 o'clock this morning. I went out there and Went to put him on. He's got a lead that he likes to run back and forth on, and I bent down to hook him up, and I had to stop and pick my nipples back up because they fell off because it was that cold out there. So it's one of them. Yeah, oof, 25 is right. So just saying, it's a bit cheery. CZ's in the house. What's happening? I'm a homeless cat colony caretaker. I have a possum that eats with my cats. Very gentle. See, that's what I thought. Like, huh? What'd you say, Mrs. Roboto?
I said at 25 degrees, I'm climbing in the damn fireplace.
Yeah, it was chilly. Very, like I said, I had to bend over and pick my nipples back up because they fell off immediately. It was that cold. Wasn't ready for that yet. Thank you, Walt.
Dude.
Appreciate you. Thursday, Friday. I know, SRB. We're supposed to actually get snow, and I'm not down for that. I'm not well for it. Just saying. Come on down, everybody. My two-legged cat Cooter went out that door one day and never come back, Mikey said. You had a cat Cooter, Mikey? You had a pussy called Mikey had a pussy called Cooter.
Three-legged wiener.
What? What did
Minnie
you say?
used to have a dog named Cooter. What did I
say? Cooter.
Say?
Two-legged cat named Cooter.
Yeah, his name was Cooter Brown.
Cooter Brown. All right, Dan. Nipple drop. Has to do mic drop. Exactly. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that cold at all. At all. It's getting freezing. It's getting very cold. Not ready yet. Let's see. We got 33 peeps in here, guys. Hit that like button. Paris and Frankie. Don't mind me tonight, by the way. I've had a whole lot of coffee, folks. I was doing a bunch of stuff. The grandbaby showed up. I was all over the place, this and that. So I'm a little bit wired. 29 likes, 32 peeps. We're getting there. Let me show you guys what happened here real quick while we're the main tag up here for what we're talking about. To start with, we got a bunch of other crap to look at too. So before I get carried away, here we go. So this building, Louisville crew state worker trapped under. This was a construction site, I guess.
It was an old jail in Louisville that they was taken down.
And the guy got trapped underneath it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, I've never done anything like this.
No, I'm No, I did some construction work when I was younger, but not demolition like this.
I've done a lot of like search and rescue stuff with the fire department. We never had to do anything like this, thank God. We did a lot of water rescue.
Hell out of me. If you look at their outfits, these are all local fire and rescue.
Yeah, Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same stuff I wore. Turnout gear here, and then of course just the standard T-shirt with the khaki pants. Now this must be a this is a actual search and rescue team because they're wearing these different helmets here. These guys go down into like holes and caves and stuff. That's why they're wearing these different helmets. My helmet looked like
fire on their shirt. Where the hell is my
mouse? It does. They're with the fire and rescue, but they do specialized rescuing, I'm guessing. My helmet.
I was wondering if those were SAR guys. Like, still, you know what I mean?
They're probably the fire department. They're on the fire department, but they do specialized SAR. You know what I mean? Like they have a special SAR team for this stuff. So this is a different building, yes, Terry. That's besides the one that blew up the other day. Like I said, Kentucky's got their feet in the fire for some reason lately.
Dude, I'm telling you, it comes in waves up there. It usually comes in threes, and I'm not trying to jinx it or nothing, y'all, but mark my words, it happens in threes.
This is the helmet that I wore, like this one here, except mine was white because I was an engineer. Like this guy over here, that's what mine looked like.
Oh. Well, they got all them fancy lights and everything on there, don't they?
These little, these guys are actually, like I said, I think they're special trained firefighters to do specific stuff like cave rescue or trap, like stuff like this. You know what I mean? Just saying. And these guys, like this guy right here with the black helmet on, this is what like standard firefighters wear. That's the standard color. They're like an E1 or an E3 engine, just and standard firefighters. You usually like a captain, a lieutenant, an engineer, a chief will have like red, white, sometimes yellow. So, and then these other things here, like I said, this is for they do a lot of like I bet you these are like mountain climbing helmets and cave dwelling and stuff like that. So, but they must have a special
Well, you
team
do
out
have a
there.
lot of mountain and caves up around yonder, so that makes sense too.
Yeah, and see, he's wearing repelling equipment around his waist here, probably so that he can tie off and go down in the hole. You see him, and they'll
Which
repel with
one?
that around their waist. Oh shit, he did his back way out. Oh, that whole thing collapsed. Look at that, guys. That's what happened then. They must have been down
Mhm.
in there, and that collapsed down on top of them.
Yeah, if I understood it correctly, and y'all don't hold me to this, but I believe what they said was he was in the basement, it
Hmm.
collapsed, and he fell an additional 15 feet.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna get something that tells a story about it in a minute. I just wanted to show you guys what's actually going on the scene. This was 5 hours ago, not now, but still. From my understanding, there was only one person that was still trapped in here. Let me find the actual news clip on it for you real quick.
Yeah, SRB, it was like 4 or 5 of them that was down there, and he was the only one that didn't get out.
This is from 5 minutes ago. There's that mayor again. This guy's gonna be busy the past few days. Jesus.
Mhm.
All right, let's see.
Well, Louisville, we are fortunate to have the hardworking, amazing men and women of the Louisville Fire Department. They have once again given us tremendous, heroic work and saved the life of an individual who was in grave jeopardy all day today. We're at the scene of 316 East Chestnut Street, the former location of the Community Corrections Facility, where the city, as part of the LUMED Commons project, has been demolishing this old facility to make way for a new park as part of the LUMED project here to make this a world-class medical research and education district. Unfortunately, an individual who was working on the construction team today fell into a void and was surrounded by other debris that the chief will talk more about, and made for an incredibly difficult trench rescue. Fortunately, our well-trained team at Louisville Fire Department that the world has seen shine before shined again today and rescued this individual who has now been transported to U of L Hospital, where he is in great hands there. I just want to give another great thanks to the men and women of Louisville Fire Department, of EMS,
Welcome,
and all the
PJ.
other first responders that were on the scene today to save this individual's life and once again serve our city so finely. I also want to give a shout out before I turn it over to Chief Brian O'Neill. I want to give a big thanks to Mission Barbecue and Fiesta Time in Norton Commons, who have been supplying food to our first responders all day. Their generosity is greatly appreciated, and it's just one small reflection of the giant heart that folks throughout our entire city have. Again, thanks to the Louisville Fire Department. I'll turn it over to the Louisville Fire Department Chief Brian O'Neill, and then we're happy to take any questions. Chief O'Neill, thank you.
So what our folks were dealing with today, it came in at about 11:40 this morning, just before noon. A construction worker that was part of a demolition team working on this site back here fell into a void space. And when they fell down, basically a floor gave way beneath them. So that collapsed. They fell down into an area.
Welcome,
All
Radar.
kinds of rubble and dirt and rock completely buried this individual. They were not just like kind of stuck. They were completely buried. Our firefighters responded immediately. We had people on the scene within about 3 minutes. They set up right away for, this is part trench rescue, this is part confined space rescue, to get in there.
There you go, Doodle. Or Mom, the confined space rescue and the trench rescue. That's why they had all that stuff on. That's what they're trained specially to do that kind of shit. So
Okay,
and
thank you, because that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't
yeah,
sure. You know what I
well,
mean? Like I knew they was part of the fire department, but I didn't know if it was like a, you know what I mean, like
they
volunteer
got
that
yeah,
are or
they have special train units. Like where I was at, we had a lot of like because we were on a lake, we had a lot of special. I was on the water rescue team. There's a lot of special units that they would have do for your areas. Like you said, you guys have a lot of mountainous areas and caves. That's probably why they guys had to be specially
yeah.
trained for that stuff. So that's what they do. We never had that stuff like that. We have our caves and stuff like that are up in Nelson, which they have their own stuff for that. So we would call them if we ever had a problem because we weren't trained that way. But water rescue is what our thing was. We did a lot of water rescue and assisted a mutual aid for that kind of stuff in a lot of different areas. So, and then we did fire rescue for like the racetrack that we have out here because we were trained to do that kind of stuff. So good to see you, PJ. Thanks for joining us. Mama Duck, good to see you as well. And Radar, I don't know if you heard me. Welcome. Good to have you here tonight. So anyway, that's what those guys are. That's why they have those special little helmets and all that stuff. That's what they do. So
They were able to talk to him. He got very fortunate that he had a little bit of a void space around him, so he was able to breathe, but they started digging him out. Now, if you can think about what this involves, this is gravel, this is dirt, these are large chunks of concrete, so you're talking tons and tons of material that has this person buried and pinned, and we're having to slowly dig it out by hand, because every time you move some small bit, you have more stuff that's falling in. Think about a person at the base of a funnel, and that funnel just keeps pouring things down onto them. Again, I give it all.
see his helmet. I was telling you about the helmets. His helmet's white and he's got #1 on there. That means he's the chief. So, and it says chief, of course. The placard that we wear on the front, the leather placard, that's how you can tell who's who and what they are by their title and what their job is. So, but they're different colored helmets for like the worker bees wear the black ones or yellow ones in different departments. The chief, the captain, engineers, lieutenants, they all wear red and white helmets. So that way you can differentiate who the officers are and who they aren't. So,
Oh, that's so cool.
well, yeah, I mean, like police have their patches and their bars to show who they are and stuff like this. You taking off, Mr. Dan? Thank you for stopping by, sir. Appreciate you very much. Hope to see you again soon. Anyway, so that's how people would know who to go to for like who has in charge of the scene and who does what and so on and so forth. So plus it's an honor when you get promoted to a different position to get that placard on the helmet there because it has your the standard firefighters don't have those. They're just black helmets with the stripes on the side so you can see them in the dark. When you become an officer of sorts or an engineer or something, you'll get one of these placards to put on the front of your helmet, and that it's like an honor. You know what I mean? So, just saying.
All credit goes to the firefighters here in Louisville. The men and women on the Louisville Fire Department that got here used their skills, used their talents, used their just absolute tenacity to get in there, dig that person out. They have to set up all kinds of shoring, so much security. This is a very long, very tedious, very slow-going process to do it safely to make sure that you do not cause additional injury to the individual and slowly get them out. And on that, I also have to say many, many thanks to Louisville EMS. As soon as it was safe, we were able to put a paramedic down there.
Hey, Alicia. Yeah, they got him out and they took him off to the hospital. So thank God. I guess he's okay from what I heard.
In the hole with this patient, with this victim, that was able to get vital signs, get an IV, get some snacks to this person and fluids so that they could take care of him. Now, this person was talking to us the whole time. He was conscious. He was a Spanish speaker, but we have a couple of multilingual people on the department that were able to translate. So he was conscious and with us the entire time.
He was helping with the.
He was helping. Yeah, he was helping to try to dig himself out and was able to, describe a little bit about what was going on with him. Was tremendously brave. But again, it was a highly technical, extremely difficult. We've seen a lot of trench rescues over the 24 years that I've been doing this. I've never seen anything like this. And the fact that it was a successful rescue to a victim that was impinged, just unbelievably. Again, all credit goes to the firefighters that were working out here today. If anybody has a few questions, we'll take those.
Can we just talk about the relief of this moment? We coming off the heels of people we couldn't rescue, and this is what you guys show up to work to do. This is the time for celebration.
Absolutely. A tempered celebration because it was a tragedy in the first place. But yes, this is what our firefighters do. This is why we took this job. We want to help people. And it's not like the movies. You're not always successful. So when you have a success like this, it is a tremendous feeling. And you're not going to see it. All it was is at that moment, once he actually got out, it was a quick, just a nod and a little fist bump around the pile there, knowing, hey, we got one.
Any injuries? How was he? Was he talking when he was finally out of all the rubble?
He was talking. There were injuries, and that'll be assessed at the University of Louisville. But he was conscious. He was alert. He was oriented. He knew what was going on. He was able to talk through with us. But yeah, he was in a lot of pain. This was a pretty severe accident.
Sir, how did your strategy change from the early afternoon press conference that we had to overtime? You know, is it around 8:30 rather? You know, all this happened. Obviously, from your years of training, you've seen different situations. How did your hour by hour plan change?
Honestly, the plan did not really change. If you look at when anybody that's dealt with trench rescue, confined space rescue, they set out the plan. It just takes a very long time. Because again, we are moving tons and tons of debris by hand, by buckets. And you've got, like I said, you imagine a person at the bottom of the funnel, you have to shore up everything else that's going to keep cascading down.
It's okay, Walt. This could trigger somebody. Yeah, trench rescue is something that has to be done very slowly, very efficiently, because what happens is that he was buried under rubble and dirt and rock and big pieces of rock. It all collapsed in on top of him. Luckily, he had a void that he could breathe through and he could move around a little bit, but they have to literally do it by hand with buckets of dirt, slowly but surely moving it so that if something shifts, if they move something too fast and something were to shift, it could crush him and bury him even deeper or worse. And that would be, he could suffocate or something could, like, you know, crush his head or something like that. So they have to do it very methodically, very slow and very carefully just to ensure, like, you know, there was a lot of this when 9/11 happened. A lot of it. And that's why it took so long to like find those people, because you can't just start grabbing things and throwing it out of the way, because something will move and that could make the situation worse. So that's why these people are trained specifically the way they are to do. I mean, I could do it. We could do it if we had to be there to do something like that, but you have to be very careful. I think we only had one time that we were on something like this where somebody had their house. It wasn't like this, but somebody had their house up on stilts, like jacks, because they were trying to reset the foundation of their house. I don't know if you guys know what I mean by this. You would put like 4x4s underneath and jack the house up. And the foundation had collapsed on one side of their house just from wear and tear and weathering and stuff. So they jacked the house up with these 4x4s and they would get it off the ground, off the foundation. They were trying to reset and reblock the foundation. One of the 4x4s slipped or something and the house dropped on the one corner and came down while they were underneath there trying to do that. And they were trapped. So we had to go, and it was kind of cool. We got kind of a training experience, not for them, but for us. We got out our airbags and used the stuff that we would use like on car accidents with the Jaws of Life, and inflated the airbags, and we lifted it up enough and threw the 4x4 back underneath to be able to pull this guy out when we did it. That would be confined space rescue, which I can't do. Like, I can't get down in that mix and do it because I'm very claustrophobic and I would lose a grip. But I can do all the outside stuff. You know, that's the stuff that I was doing, running the airbags and the jaws and stuff like that, the hydraulic tools. So anyway, welcome, Elizabeth. Good to see you. I'll let him finish talking. Sorry. I get excited when we talk about stuff like this because it's what I did.
To create a safe space and then continue to dig this person out. And as I said, he was completely buried. Right. So when you talk about a person completely buried, you have to dig out completely around the person all the way down to his feet.
You also talked about perhaps 10 to 12 feet earlier. Do you think that was the same assessment once he did come out? Do you think he was a little bit deeper?
So 10 to 12 feet from the area that he initially fell from, down into there. But as far as where he was buried just above his head.
Can you tell me what was going on with those ropes that connected to the crane hook? It looked like you had to tie them off over on some of the machinery.
So the crane was there simply to be used as what we would call a high point. So we're not going to use the crane to try to haul a person. That would be very dangerous. But it's as a high point. We set up those ropes so we could eventually get a harness on his body. And that way we could take some of the weight off of him, as once we dug down deeper and we're getting down to his feet, we could take some of his body weight and stress off there to make him a little bit of a relief for him and make it easier to dig out around his feet.
Are these the same crews that were out on Tuesday? Same unit, same people?
Some of them same, not some of them different. So we work 24/48. So the units that were normally on duty Tuesday will be on duty tomorrow. So it's a different platoon, but 24/7, our people are trained. They're ready to respond.
Can you just talk about the week you guys have had?
It's been a week. It has been. But again, this is what we get this job for. Our firefighters are highly trained. They're highly experienced. In a heavy urban setting like this, unfortunately, these types of things are going to happen. Events are going to happen. Tragedy is going to happen. That's what our profession is predicated upon, and our people are ready to go into action.
Chief, is there any indication as to how he fell into this void? Obviously, fell into a hole, but is there anything that led up to that? Say, distractions, anything that you were able to gather from the...
We don't know anything about that, and we're not going to speculate on that.
How is his family? I know there was a couple of members here just waiting.
I met with his mother earlier this evening. His family is at U of L Hospital right now, so he'll be reunited with them as soon as as soon as the doctors think it's okay. But I did spend some time with his mother earlier this evening to bring her up to date on his condition, on what was happening, and to let her know, to make sure we stayed in communication with her through this entire process.
And what?
How old was he?
We're not releasing any details yet on him.
And any other questions out here?
What happens next?
So right now, we're going to clear all of our stuff out of the way and turn the scene back over to the construction company that was working on the demolition.
And do you investigate this?
As far as an investigation, that's not something the fire department does.
Can you talk a little bit about the ductwork, the blowers, the propane tanks? What were those items doing for the rest of that?
So the ductwork was actually, I believe it was MSD that supplied the vacuum truck. Yeah, MSD supplied us with a vacuum truck. That was a large, like a 6-inch pipe. So we were able, rather than having to take every little bit out by buckets, we were able to use that to vacuum a lot of the debris, the dirt, the smaller rocks. When you saw propane tanks, obviously it's starting to get a little cold. And for an individual like that victim that was stuck in there, he's cold. So what we have is basically it's just hot air. We use those propane tanks to create like a little mini heater that can then push hot air down into that hole to help him to just make him a little more comfortable. Yes.
Thank you all very much. Have a good night. We'll continue to keep you up to date if there's any additional information.
And that's what happened. Welcome, Bobby. Don't worry about being late, brother.
That's awesome that they got him, and it's just like us.
Well,
For when we get a missing or somebody's found alive, it's like those little wins. Just one win.
Every win is an important thing, and every time. 100%. Because if he was buried over his head, that was dangerous as hell. He could have died.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'd
So
have been
thank
freaking
God.
the hell out. I'll be honest. I done had a meltdown. Probably had a heart attack.
I'll show you guys one from a long time ago. It's one I remember when I was a small child. It was probably one of the longest, most grueling rescues, and it's confined space rescue. And it was like big time national news. 1 second here, I'll show you. There was I think it was 1987. I think so, yeah. So 1987, there was a little baby girl, baby Jessica. Okay. She was walking across her backyard and fell into a water well, like a well, tiny opening for a well, and was stuck, like wedged in there, stuck for Good God, I can't remember how long it was. That's 30 years ago, obviously, but
It was a long time. She was in there for a long time.
57 hours, I think it was. Almost 58 hours, guys. She was stuck in this. Little baby was stuck in this well. It's horrendous. Horrendous. And they got her out, and she's alive and well. And it was just insane. Here it is. Hold up.
You're muted.
Sorry, they couldn't go down on top of her. That's part of what the problem was. There was no room at all for not even for her, let alone. I think they had to dig underneath her, okay, and come in on the side and try to get her to understand when they were putting like rope down in there. She was very weak, lethargic, and just couldn't function very well. And they finally got her. Yeah, it was like 24. 48. I was like 30, 36, 40, almost like 48 hours or 72 hours or something like that. 57 hours. There it is right there. It was a long time. A long, long time. It was sad. But anyway, I'll shut up and let this play for a minute.
Yet another hand signal.
They're obviously going into the well. Inching into the well.
Slow.
Exactly. That's what they had to do, is dig down next to the well, and then they had to go in sideways to get to her, to be able to reach her. Okay, it was a lot of work. By the time they were done with this, they had dug the whole backyard area, was all dug up and trenched and everything. It was pretty wild. Really, I didn't know you were that young, Elisa. I didn't mean to think that you were old. I just didn't think you were that much younger than me. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Rodney, does it appear to you that the red rope that you mentioned before that would be connected to the backboard that she would be strapped to, does that appear to you it's still down the shaft?
I think so, Micah. The color is changing on us, and it's hard to see the color because it looks like it has been down in the well and it's got that dust on it. But I believe that's what you're looking at right there. No longer a cable, but a rope.
What's connected to the paramedic, if that's what's happening, and then the rope to the board as well, right?
Right. And hopefully the board is, we've been told the board would be strapped to the paramedic as well, but I'm sure that is just a lifeline to that board.
Right.
But they are both coming up out of the well at the same time. You can see it moving. Both the rope and the cable are coming up at the same inch per foot at the same time.
Rodney, I think I'm hearing the crowd react back there too as well.
Yeah.
It's getting louder.
We've got her.
They've got
We're getting the indication. We're getting the indication. People are seeing it.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Seeing it. There she is.
There she is.
There she is. And her eyes are open.
Jessica.
You can see her eyes open.
Oh.
Bless her
She's
heart.
blinking.
Bless her heart.
She's blinking.
58 hours exactly. Thank God.
58 hours.
And see, I remember we watched this in one of our training classes. Hold on, let me back it up just a tin so you can see it. Right here, they have her strapped onto a board. You can't see the board right now to hold her in C-spine, and it's a backboard to hold her. They have her hand, if you can see right here. They have to keep her in the position she fell in there, just in case there's any serious like neck or back or any damage. They can't move her. She has to stay like this, the way her hand is. And that's why they have her wrapped like that until they get her to the hospital, can check her out, do x-rays, and then they can unwrap everything to make sure she was okay. It's a really wild situation. So
Bless your little heart.
That's excellent.
Oh my God.
That's wonderful. Thank God for that.
For all the people that have worked so hard.
There you see her.
She owes her life to so many great people who have worked so hard to save it.
What a brave.
Yeah, we can hear the crowd.
You can hear it. She's wiping her eyes.
Look at
Hear
her.
it. 58 hours down in the dark hole.
Is that a beautiful sight?
Oh, it is. It certainly is.
Oh.
All right.
And the doctor's now moving in the.
There we see.
And there's
She's
the
being
doctor.
taken to the
There
ambulance.
you
There
go.
she
Mike and
goes.
Becky, we will not be with you very much longer. We're going to be moving the live truck there, as you see the
We
shot
understand.
to the ambulance.
Okay,
we'll be
Rodney.
cutting away and going to get interviews. The live truck will be leaving.
Okay, go ahead and do what you have to do. Finally, what all of us have hoped so hard to come up and been rescued from 58 hours of hell.
After 58 hours of being here on the scene, this is one time that I'm very glad. I'm glad I was here for this.
People are scrambling to get interviews now.
These people right here, they never left this scene the whole time. You can tell they're dirty and exhausted and burnt out. Nobody left it. Once you showed up there, everybody stayed there. I remember that. Yeah, and so that was
That was back
like
in the
one.
day of true reporting, Dago.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
reporters actually gave a shit about
Cared.
what they were doing.
Right,
Well, you put
right.
it nicer than I did.
100%. Now this I thought was pretty wild. I watched it not too long ago, you guys. This kid. Now that's how small. I mean, she was tiny to begin with, but look at that hole. She fell down inside that and was all the way at the bottom and was in there for 58 hours like that. Nope. I am so claustrophobic thinking about it. It's giving me anxiety. I'm not lying. That's just crazy to me that child went down in that little tiny hole and got stuck down in there for that long. I can't imagine that, you guys. That she's got to be traumatized. There's got to be some kind of PTSD or something from this. In my opinion, just saying. See, she's got a scar from that. Her forehead's still scarred there because when she went down, she was wedged and couldn't move, and that was pushing against her, and that scar's still there. That's crazy. I would have thought that might have disappeared from that, but I didn't think that's permanent. Wow. What's up, Phil?
That was.
Can you guys imagine that? Her one leg was up, her hand was up like this, 18 inches wide. Are you serious?
Mm.
And for 3 days, well, a little over 2.5 days. She was in that position for that long. I don't get it. That's insane to me. She turned out pretty good for that. So, that could have caused all sorts of other medical. What'd you say?
I think you got hit. Hang on. I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Chat's having a meltdown. I usually have it pulled up on the second screen and come in, load. Yep, you're down.
Just let me know when it goes back. Really? Why would that be? It's educational.
Yep. I don't know. You're playing music in the background, so
Still.
they're just
Jesus.
assholes.
Yes, they are. Good God.
Barbara. Come in. Nope, still down.
There must be people. People magazine.
Hmm? Oh, probably
Must have
so, assholes. I've never used any of their footage. I've used their stills before.
Right.
I know not to use the freaking History Channel.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
The
learned
one and
that.
only time I used the History Channel, and we're back.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. I didn't think it was going to be a problem. It was for educational purposes, but so be it. Well, they are sticklers. Jesus. Unbelievable. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. Hold on, guys. One second, I'm trying to see if we have the...
All right, I agree with you guys, man. A beautiful story, heartwarming, and what do they got to do? They got to take it down. Now, if we was up here calling somebody a dirtbag, it'd be fine.
But they'll leave up drama being played now.
I said if you were reviewing a channel and calling them 9 kinds of a dirtbag, then it'd be fine. But, you know, forbid that you watch a piece of history that brought the whole United States together.
Right. Whatever. Whatever. Oh, well. So be it. My apologies, folks. I didn't even think at that time when I pulled that up if that it was going to be a problem. So I'm sorry, everybody. My apologies. They pulled your comment. What did you say, Bill?
Oh, he said he made an Oprah joke. I don't think that was what it was, Bill.
No, it's up here still. Don't be hating on Oprah's ghetto dolls. She only had 350 million those days, right? Oprah's in the news right now, y'all.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, there's a sex video between Oprah and Diddy, and now they're saying Oprah left the country.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You know, it's probably not true, but...
Oh, well. You know, I learned something today, because I did not know this, but what is that asshat's name that InfoWars? Oh, God, what is his name? Hang on. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? He lost his business today.
Oh, no. InfoWars.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have no idea. No idea.
Alex Jones.
Oh, that idiot, yeah. That's the same idiot that tried to say that Sandy Hook was a hoax.
Yeah. Well, the parents and a paper called Onion apparently bought his shit out from underneath him today.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good. Yeah. Here, I'll show you guys what they were talking about. Like I said, it's probably fake news, folks. So don't get overly attached to it.
Miss Barbara's already excited. She said, "Hallelujah, Oprah left."
Wouldn't that be fun? Like I said, this is more than likely fake news, guys, but it's still fun to watch sometimes. Here you go.
People having sex in the pool, people laying on our wine bars naked, people having sex on the balcony.
The headlines say it all. Oprah Winfrey, once America's beloved talk show queen, is now a fugitive. Ever since Diddy got slapped with those silver bracelets, Oprah's been nowhere to be found. But don't be fooled by the perfectly curated public image. The FBI thinks they've got plenty of reasons to be sniffing around, and Oprah's abrupt disappearing act has everyone asking why. Why can't Oprah stay in the United States? And what did the FBI discover just moments ago? First, Diddy, the shiny suit-wearing, always partying music mogul, ends up behind bars. He's allegedly been tangled up in a very shady underground scene, and apparently, he didn't just party with A-listers. There's footage, and Oprah's rumored to be right in the middle of this mess.
Yesterday, I was all the way across the country, and I was hiking on a Sunday afternoon, and I met a woman named Angela, who told me that she was going to sit this one out. Now, I know she was immediately sorry she told me that, because I would not let up. So I said, sit this one out. We don't get to sit this one out.
Whispers started swirling when it turned out that Diddy might have been keeping some pretty damning tapes featuring underage celebrities in compromising situations. Who was allegedly holding on to those tapes? Oprah, of all people, apparently shelled out a cool $75 million for them. Now, what exactly a billionaire media mogul wanted with such tapes is a question that nobody has a clear answer to, but it's definitely not painting her in a good light.
Have security cameras in all the halls, and seeing that person sneak out around 2 a.m. was definitely a little suspicious. The most shocking example was an incident where the wedding was around 2 p.m.-ish that day. Come nightfall, one of our event staff slept with the wife and ended up getting caught. It turned into quite a big deal with screaming and shouting and all this stuff. He hid in a bathroom in a supply closet until the heat died down, and then he just walked into the front office and walked out like nothing ever happened.
And if that isn't enough, let's add Jaguar Wright's accusations into the mix. Wright's the kind of musician that speaks her mind, sometimes a little too much. She's been throwing names out there like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and now Oprah, calling them out for holding on to dirty secrets and maybe even dirtier deeds. Sure, some of the claims got her in hot water, and Piers Morgan even had to apologize for letting those accusations air on his channel. But that hasn't stopped Oprah's name from getting dragged through the mud. Social media has been blowing up, with users alleging that Oprah's been spending millions to cover up unspeakable acts. Sounds dramatic, but when a billionaire like Oprah bolts for the nearest border right after Diddy's arrest, it's no wonder folks are putting two and two together.
This lady has been doing for quite some time. She is grabbing the
shotgun approach.
Well, no, she's grabbing the salacious and very obvious headlines and expounding on them with, and again, I'm only saying this because I heard her say out of her mouth that she saw a video of Stevie J and Joe Budden. So I know.
It's funny how 1 minute you're everyone's best friend, and the next, you're a fugitive. Oprah built an empire by being the person that America trusted. Every weekday afternoon, people tuned in to their best friend, Oprah. She was the woman who made people cry, laugh, and think, and also somehow convinced them to buy a $400 blender. Now that friendly face is being accused of shady backroom deals, possibly using her fortune to hide things nobody wants to talk about. The question remains, if there's nothing to hide, why the sudden escape? Because folks, let's not forget, the FBI isn't just looking for her for kicks. This isn't about overdue library books. Oprah's being actively hunted, and there are serious accusations behind it. Even Piers Morgan, who's usually no stranger to stirring the pot, had to backpedal after airing Wright's accusations about Oprah. Lawyers were involved, threats of lawsuits flew, and clips got taken down faster than a blink.
Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves.
But if Oprah's so squeaky clean, what's she afraid of? Why is a woman who's known for her book club and giving away cars suddenly packing her bags and fleeing the country? Online chatter hasn't stopped since the rumors broke. Some say that black wealth, think Diddy, Oprah, Jay-Z, is under attack. Maybe there's truth in that. But then again, maybe not all that wealth was made with the purest of intentions.
Last vacation with all of you guys at Palazzo Fuji was so meaningful to me because it was a full circle moment to be able to take all of my friends on vacation. It was really
I said, Kirby and I will pay for our part. She goes, absolutely not. And I said, okay. Thanks, Auntie O. Okay.
One thing is for sure, when the FBI gets involved, the story usually isn't about a misunderstanding. And now, Oprah's a fugitive. There's a reason people are comparing this to Jeffrey Epstein's scandal. It's not a far-fetched leap if all these pieces fall into place. We're in an era where misinformation runs rampant, and anyone with a smartphone can become an armchair detective.
I don't know if I believe that she's a fugitive at this point, truly. Let me see something here. So that I'm not going to run that whole thing because that's a long clip, but that's the gist of it. But I don't think this is true. Because they're also saying, let me see something. Here's this now, real quick. Watch this. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I almost got it. I think this is the one. This might be it. I don't know how many of you guys saw this. There's a few these videos out like this. Everybody knows who this guy is, of course. So hold up. This all links together with this other stuff. Like I said, who knows what's real, what's not. This dude ain't never been out involved in any of this crap that I've ever seen before. But listen to what he says. You got to wonder. I've watched a lot of the Cat Williams stuff where Cat Williams has come out and said certain things. And you can tell he's pretty serious about it. But watch what he says about this mess real quick.
Some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. What makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of the club. That pisses them off.
Well, who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with Diddy? What are you doing?
I mean, yeah. Then I get a call from somebody. Hi, Jamie Foxx. This is Oprah. I'm like, who? Yeah. Like, what? What? Who's that? This is Oprah. She says you're blowing it.
Ice Cube appears to have hinted at what Diddy and Oprah did to Jamie Foxx, and it's darker than anyone could have imagined.
What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with.
From surviving one of Hollywood's most dangerous circles to being forced into situations no one should ever have to face.
Then I get a call from somebody. Hi, Jamie Foxx. This is Oprah. I'm like, who? Yeah. Like, what? What? Who's that? This is Oprah. She says you're blowing it.
And it's not just Diddy and Oprah. Quincy Jones and Sidney Poitier have also been incriminated.
I just started crying. I was like, man, yeah. And he says, your performance made me grow 2 inches. And I was like, I appreciate it. And he says, Oprah and I would like to give you one thing. I said, what's that? Responsibility.
So what exactly did Ice say? Hollywood is known for its glamour, but behind the red carpets and flashing lights is a much darker world. A world where some of the biggest stars were allegedly forced into unimaginable situations. And according to recent allegations, one man who lived through it all is Jamie Foxx. Foxx has been in the spotlight for decades, but no one ever knew the full story until now. There have been claims that Jamie Foxx was a
He'll be back. Preparation H. You need one of those round pillows. One of those hemorrhoid pillows. And he's back.
I am so tired of this 1022, 1122 shit, whatever it is. Hold on. Sorry. Good Lord, have mercy. 1 second. Where did it go?
Yes, it's hard to be a donut pillow. I couldn't think of what that was called.
What'd you say?
A donut pillow. Doodle said her butthole hurts just watching this. She needs some preparation H. And I said, one of them little round pillows that you sit on.
Right. Hold on. Why? I hate when I lose things on here. This is crazy.
You're nuts.
Hmm?
They're nuts. Oh.
Yes. Where did it go? Where did it go? This is it, I think. Let me see where I was. Hold on. Where were we at? Right here?
I can't see it.
Let me get it back up here. Sorry. This stuff's interesting because, like I said, you don't know what to believe, but some of these people, it's hard to not believe. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to believe that they could be true, but then we saw what happened with Diddy and all that bullshit, and it's like, well, maybe it is, you know? That's it.
According to Jamie Foxx, his rise to stardom wasn't just about talent. It came with a price he allegedly paid by being passed around between some of the industry's most powerful figures. And who's at the center of these allegations? None other than Diddy and Oprah.
Then I get a call from somebody. Hi, Jamie Foxx. This is Oprah. I'm like, who? Yeah. Like, what? What? Who's that? This is Oprah. She says, you're blowing it.
And it's not just Jamie's words. Ice Cube recently came forward with a shocking revelation about what really happened to Jamie Foxx during the peak of his career. In 2023, Ice Cube uploaded a clip from his podcast on social media, claiming that he is not a part of the Insider Club that has most of the hotshots at its beck and call.
Some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club.
Cube then went on to reveal that his audience is also not part of the club. You see, all the celebs that are part of the industry elites also propagate the illicit agenda to their audiences. Therefore, they naturally make them part of this rumored club.
A lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either.
Now you might be wondering, what is the deal with this club? Well, Ice Cube cracked the code on the industry elites. He explained that even though the club wants all the influential figures to be under them, they get pissed off when the big fish, such as Cube himself, refuses to obey.
What makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of the club. That pisses them off.
Well, the so-called secret society has a monumental influence on its members' lives, one of them allegedly being Jamie Foxx. And the word on the street is that Jamie has been on their hit list for quite some time. Looks like the industry is loyal to no one but itself. According to ICE, all the celebs have to face this club one or more times in their career.
I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with.
You see, what people don't realize is that the gatekeepers are responsible for much more than keeping the existence of this club out of the public's eyes. So it is not out of the realm of possibility that Jamie's 2023 medical emergency was somehow related to the Hollywood elites, and specifically disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. To understand Jamie's struggles, we need to first dig deep into his complicated relationship with Diddy. Fox has long been a guest at Diddy's infamous parties, events that have been the subject of wild rumors for years. Some say these parties weren't just about music and fun, they were far more sinister. For those in the know, Diddy's lavish lifestyle comes with a price. Many celebrities who have attended these gatherings often left with more than just memories. Insiders have whispered for years that Diddy exerts control over those closest to him, either through blackmail, influence, or worse. And Jamie Foxx? Well, he was one of Diddy's frequent guests, which made people wonder what exactly was going on behind closed doors. According to T.I., there was a time when Diddy allegedly forced Jamie Foxx to play a game of basketball. Yes, you heard that right. Basketball. Diddy, known for his wild parties and larger-than-life personality, supposedly came up with this crazy idea to break the ice and make the night unforgettable.
If you want to know like who was probably at these games, just look at like
who P. Diddy and Jamie Foxx have been hanging around for years, especially the super successful ones.
Now, can you imagine being at that party? Talk about taking things to a whole new level. Say what you will, but Diddy certainly knows how to throw an unforgettable bash. The big question, though, is did Jamie Foxx actually go through with it? Well, it seems that Jamie was a good sport and didn't shy away from the challenge. He embraced the moment and jumped right into the game of basketball.
He would invite over a lot of Hollywood's elite to his house for a basketball game, but it was men only.
Wow, that's definitely pushing boundaries and stepping way out of your comfort zone. But hey,
What they're bleeping out is nude basketball. Like they would play naked basketball and it was all just guys. Yeah, I'm good.
when you're with Diddy and other A-listers, anything can happen, right? But here's the thing. This wasn't Jamie's first time at one of Diddy's infamous parties. In fact, an old clip of Jamie Foxx revealing shocking details from one of Diddy's creepy parties resurfaced online last year.
The big cannon, yo, Puff, I should document this shit, right? Yo, what's up, Playboy? What you talking about? I said, no, I should get this, man. You, Fonzworth, whole line. He says, yeah, let him through.
Back in the early days of Jamie's entertainment career, when he was still trying to break into the music industry, he attended one of Diddy's exclusive parties in Beverly Hills. Jamie, always sharp, brought a camera along, hoping to document the night. And when he asked Diddy for permission to film, Diddy was all for it.
You spent $1.5 million on this party? I said, you come to my house, I'll throw you a party for $400, and it will rival this, not in scale.
This wasn't just any party. It cost a jaw-dropping $1.5 million, with a guest list full of A-list celebrities arriving in luxury cars. Jamie followed Diddy into the lavish pool party, and the first person his camera caught was none other than Dr. Ruth, famous Hollywood therapist. Sensing a golden moment, Jamie got Dr. Ruth to have a spontaneous conversation with Diddy right on camera. And then, out of nowhere, Dr. Ruth and Diddy hit the dance floor by the pool, vibing to Beyonce's Crazy in Love. The scene was electric, the crowd loving it, and even Jamie Foxx gave a nod to the energy and spirit of the night while honoring the late Heavy D. Jamie wasn't just a guest, though. He took on the role of teaching Diddy how to party on a budget. His stories about showing Diddy how to throw an amazing party without spending a fortune have become legendary. In fact, Jamie even shared the story on The Colbert Show, reminiscing about how he turned Diddy into a thrifty party pro. I'm like, you are out of your mind. I said, Puff, I will throw you a party for $400 that will rival this party. Fox said Diddy was a bit offended at first, but eventually went along with it the next time he was in Los Angeles. He called and said, yo, Playboy, I'm in town. Make it happen. So I said, cool, he said, adding that he went on to invite 200 of the coolest people before Diddy finally arrived. I said, Puff, look over there on the dinner table. I got Kentucky Fried Chicken. I put it on a nice plate. I got Coca-Cola. I put it in a pitcher. We are at $208 and we are K-ing it right now. Fox has claimed that he started gathering artists at his house because he was pursuing music, and having new and old artists together listening to their music helped him and others start their career in the industry. His involvement with Diddy boosted up his attendance to places where he could freely connect with others in the industry. But aside from teaching Diddy how to party on a budget, Jamie also revealed that Diddy's parties were the craziest he had ever been to. These parties were more than just expensive. They were also a hotbed of unusual behavior, seemingly orchestrated by Diddy to fulfill his S fantasies.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird shit going on, you know what I'm saying? The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit.
Diddy and Jamie seemed to be good friends until Diddy discovered that Jamie was talking. Diddy has allegedly been trying to eliminate anyone who dares to expose him. You see, while immersed in the filming of his Netflix project, Back in Action in Atlanta, Jamie Foxx became the subject of widespread conversation when reports surfaced about a medical complication he encountered. The news, like wildfire, spread across headlines, leaving fans in the entertainment industry buzzing with concern. On April 12, 2023, Jamie Foxx's daughter, Corinne, shared an update on Instagram, reassuring everyone that her father was recovering well, thanks to the quick medical care he received. This brought relief to fans who had been anxiously waiting for news. However, concerns about Fox's health grew as the impact on his film, Back in Action, became clear. A scheduled scene for the movie was canceled, leaving people to wonder how his health scare would affect his work. On April 17, 2023, sources confirmed Fox was still in the hospital, but he was slowly getting better. Tests were being done to find out more about his condition, but the news of his improvement gave fans some hope. By April 21st, 2023, Fox was awake, and although he was still under medical observation, his recovery was a great relief to many. Then, on May 3rd, 2023, TMZ reported that Fox was still receiving medical treatment. His absence from his hosting role on Beat Shazam and his daughter Corinne stepping back from her DJ duties on the show fueled more speculation about the seriousness of his condition. But Fox broke his silence on Instagram the same day, thanking fans for their support and reassuring everyone that he was on the mend. Corinne also clarified that her dad had been out of the hospital for weeks.
See, I remember when that happened, and my understanding is that he went like crazy, like got weird on the movie set and started saying crazy things, and he said somebody was trying to kill him, and he was poisoned or some weird shit or something. And then he was in the hospital for that long ass period of time. And at some point it was stated somewhere that he almost died or something. So I don't know exactly what happened with it. You know how these people are, they don't like to put their business out there if it makes them look bad or like they're not okay in some way, I guess. So that's what I think this is here as about.
And was recovering well, even playing pickleball recently. On May 13th, 2023, Jamie and Corinne shared exciting news about a new game show they were working on called We Are Family, marking Fox's return to TV. Later, reports emerged that Fox was in a specialized rehab center in Chicago, furthering his recovery. Jamie Foxx eventually bounced back to full health. In fact, a few months ago, Fox broke his hiatus in an event dedicated to honoring the exceptional achievements of Black, Latino, Asian American, and Pacific Islander individuals. Fox, known for his quick wit and humor, wasted no time addressing the elephant in the room, the rumors surrounding his absence. "I couldn't do that 6 months ago," he quipped, pointing towards the stage. "And I'm not a clone, I'm not a clone. I know a lot of people saying that I was cloned out there." The crowd responded with uproarious laughter, a collective exhale of relief and amusement at Fox's playful dismissal of the speculative chatter. However, beneath the surface of humor, Fox's words carried a weight that resonated throughout the room. Opening up about the health challenges he had navigated over the past year, he shared the profound impact on his outlook. "It feels good to be here," he admitted, his voice carrying a newfound appreciation for life. "I cherish every single minute now. I wouldn't wish what I went through on my worst enemy because it's tough when it's almost over, when you see the tunnel." Fox's narrative took an introspective turn, describing the uncertainty and introspection that accompanied his health struggles.
Cherish life, man. I cannot tell you. I had some people in my life that really made sure I was here because it was dire.
The audience hung on every word, captivated by the raw honesty emanating from the acclaimed actor. Transitioning from the somber reflections, Fox delved into the transformation he underwent, developing a newfound respect for life and his craft. "I have a new respect for life. I have a new respect for my art," he declared, his gaze sweeping across the room. His experience had become a crucible, forging a deeper connection to his artistic endeavors. In a moment of impassioned advice, Fox addressed aspiring artists in the audience, urging them not to falter in the face of adversity. "Don't give up on your art, man. Don't give up on your art," he passionately conveyed. His words hung in the air, resonating as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of artistic expression. When you realize that it could be over like that, I got to tell you, don't give up on your art and don't let them take the art from you either. In any case, it seems Fox might have gotten the medical emergency because he had forgotten he was indebted to not only Diddy, but also Oprah and her fellow elites. You see, she once saved his career, albeit in the most shady way. In 2005, Fox was riding high from the critical acclaim he garnered for his performance as Ray Charles in the musical biopic Ray, a role for which he would eventually win the Academy Award for Best Actor. But his celebrating had turned into non-stop partying. Winfrey took notice of this and called him up out of the blue. While the actor thought her involvement was because she wanted better for him, it turns out she had her own plans all along.
"Hi, Jamie Foxx. This is Oprah." I'm like, "Who?" Yeah. I'm like, what? Who's that? This is Oprah. I said, "What you mean?" She says, "You got an opportunity to do something great, walk into the history books, and you're blowing it. And I need to help you with it." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, what I need to do." So she took me to Quincy Jones's house.
Winfrey took Fox to the home of record producer Quincy Jones, where an impromptu intervention had been set up. Doing an uncanny impersonation of Jones, Fox remembers being told, "You've done a great job on Ray, but you've effed everything else up now. You gotta buckle down, baby." He continued, "Oprah says, now, are you ready to meet the person that I've brought you here to talk with?" And it was Sidney Poitier.
I just started crying. I was like, man, yeah. And he says, "Your performance made me grow 2 inches." And I was like, I appreciate it. And he says, "Oprah and I would like to give you one thing." I said, "What's that?" "Responsibility."
While this interaction might not be considered the least bit weird with any other person, the fact that it was coming from Sidney Poitier seems to have sent chills down Foca's spine. And I'll tell you why. Jaguar Wright has been dropping bombshells left and right, claiming that Sidney Poitier, much like P. Diddy, played a significant role in manipulating and exploiting the entertainment system. She asserts that while Poitier was seen as an icon of progress behind closed doors, he may have been anything but the paragon of virtue the world believed him to be.
The things that he did to Eartha Kitt, the lies that he told on RCD and Ruby.
But where's the proof? Well, Wright isn't the only one talking. Alleged family members have come forward, backing up these sensational claims. One individual commented, "I'm a Poitier, and the things I've heard about him ain't good. He dissed his whole family. He's my grandfather's cousin, and he left and never looked back on some BS." Another chimed in, "Wow, so we are related. My grandmother said the same thing and always got angry if you mentioned his name." These comments paint a picture of a man estranged from his family, someone who perhaps wasn't the hero the public adored. The revelations don't stop there. One person shared that they used to do the hair of one of Sidney's daughters in the 80s and claimed she didn't have good things to say about her father. Another anecdote involves a girlfriend who revealed that Sidney once approached her at a party in a manner far from gentlemanly, reminiscent of the stories we hear about Diddy's notorious party antics. For decades, Sidney Poitier has been celebrated as a symbol of dignity and grace in Hollywood. He was the first African American to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, breaking significant racial barriers.
The winner is Sidney Poitier.
Yet, if these allegations hold any water, it suggests that his public persona was meticulously curated to mask a much darker reality. One can't help but wonder how these revelations, if proven true, will reshape our understanding of Poitier's legacy. Did the man who became a beacon of hope for so many also have a hidden side marked by controversy and estrangement? Anyway, what's more scary is the fact that Oprah had taken Fox to Quincy's house. Now, if you have even a tiny bit of interest in Hollywood, you must know Quincy Jones. He is a legendary producer, musician, songwriter, and so on. Thus, he is also given the title of the Black Godfather of the industry. Quincy Jones has produced for an impressive list of notable artists during his career, but this is not the only reason he has been hitting the headlines. For decades, Quincy has always been a topic of great buzz on the internet.
Let me tell you something. That means Quincy's gay. Quincy might be on, and let me tell you why I think this,
It has always been speculated that Quincy Jones forced men into relationships in exchange for making them famous and big in Hollywood. As scandalous as it sounds, the list of Quincy's hookups seems to be unlimited. But two of the names from Quincy Jones's flings history have always been the most discussed. These are none other than Tupac and Will Smith. It's been long rumored that Jones forced them into sleeping with him. This undefined relationship with Quincy affected them quite a lot as he tried to turn them like him.
Come on, man. Look what type of nigga you is. You gonna let these little geek ass white boys feel on you like that?
While it is easy to doubt that Oprah might have been responsible for Quincy picking a liking to Fox, this is actually not the first time the television host has reportedly enabled SA by the hands of someone close to her. A while back, a British actress alleged that Oprah had allegedly been involved in Harvey Weinstein taking advantage of her. British actress Katie and Noble said she was head over heels impressed when she first met Weinstein at an event in London because he was hanging out with model Campbell and had megastar Oprah swinging off his arm. "I thought, obviously, this man has something amazing in store for me," she said during a teary-eyed press conference in Manhattan to discuss the lawsuit she filed against Weinstein in Manhattan federal court. After meeting Weinstein in London, Noble said she thought nothing of bringing her showreel to his hotel room when she saw him again in Cannes in February 2014. Once inside the hotel room, however, he didn't seem that interested in my showreel, Noble said. Instead, he began touching her while discussing hooking her up with a modeling agency in London. Anyway, as for Jamie Foxx, his willingness to open up about his experiences, though often veiled in humor, shows the depth of his pain. And while Diddy and Oprah continue to thrive in the industry, Fox's story serves as a chilling reminder of the price some have paid for success. What will become of Diddy and Oprah now that these allegations are coming to light? And will Jamie Foxx ever fully reveal the extent of what he endured? Ice Cube's revelations have pulled back the curtain on one of Hollywood's most guarded secrets, the exploitation of Jamie Foxx by some of the industry's most powerful figures. While the full truth may never be known, what's clear is that Fox's story is far darker than anyone could have imagined. Hollywood's facade of glamour and success often hides a much more sinister
Is that because you're just not interested?
Like I said, they don't really give you certain details that you're expecting to see. There's a lot of these videos that have been dropped recently. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't trust none of them fools.
Right.
Trust none of these fools.
I guess this here is Macaulay Culkin saying why Oprah's next on the FBI's list of names. They've been jumping on these people left and right. And I expect to see other people come out in a lot of this. I really do. Honey Boo Boo. Mikey. I don't know.
My Lord. I'm going to bed, sir. Love you.
Yep.
Have a good night, y'all. One more day and then it's over.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all make
Have
good
a
choices. Chat. See y'all tomorrow.
You too.
Don't miss
Have a great night.
Paranormal night. It's going to be a good one.
Tomorrow night, yes. I'm actually excited about that. Tomorrow night, guys, we are covering I'm not going nowhere yet, folks, but good night, Mom.
Yeah,
we're
I'm going to
covering
bed, y'all.
the
Good night.
The Lost Colony. Sorry, folks. I think I just chipped my tooth. Sorry, guys. The Roanoke, North Carolina, the Lost Colony. That's what we're covering tomorrow night for Paranormal Night. So, I hope you guys are interested in that. Let me see. I did want to pull this up now that we have some time. Hold on a minute. One second. We talked about this morning on the morning show. Let me see something. I guess that building collapse was not. It was bad, but I guess it wasn't as serious as what I thought it was. So it didn't take as much time to put it out. Okay, here we go. One second. We just watched this morning. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, this was the thing I was going to present this morning on the Silkwood story that I'm going to be covering. And I couldn't play it on the morning show because it was just too long, but I wanted to show this to you guys. That tonight would be a good point to do it. It's very interesting. Because I truly believe that Karen Silkwood was murdered because she was a whistleblower. That happens. People are getting in trouble for this stuff all the time, and it's causing a lot of problems. So this is what that was all about this morning, folks. Now is as good a time as any. So Hang on, and here we go.
About her nuclear contamination, but you've never heard the full story of what happened along this Logan County roadway 50 years ago. KOCO's team of investigative journalists spent 2 years digging through long-lost files, interviewing people who lived this firsthand and talking with family members of those who have passed. They shared secret recordings, diaries, and deathbed confessions. We traveled to the National Archives, where 50 years of clues were buried in boxes that had to be wheeled in. From Karen's handwritten notes about what happened inside the Kerr-McGee nuclear facility to the receipts she kept during her contamination. Our team went to Washington, D.C. and New Jersey following leads. What we've uncovered goes far beyond Crescent, Oklahoma, reaching to the FBI and CIA. So how did we get here? Let's start in 1974, when this case began to unfold.
On November 13th, 1974, Karen Silkwood, an employee at an Oklahoma nuclear facility, was on her way to meet with a reporter from the New York Times. She never got there.
Her car ran off the road only 2 miles from the Kerr-McGee facility, and she died.
Her Honda was found in a culvert. Police and the Highway Patrol say she fell asleep at the wheel.
The week before that, it was determined that Karen had received an overexposure to plutonium. Alpha particles apparently penetrated her body. The events which followed that contamination will make history in the nuclear future of Oklahoma.
There is no question that Karen was contaminated by plutonium while she was working at the Cimarron nuclear plant. She was contaminated 3 times, the last time in her own home.
It is determined that Karen's apartment has been contaminated, as well as her roommate, Sherry Ellis, and a gentleman friend.
She was only trying to help those people get clean plant. She was going to quit. She was just trying to help.
Silkwood's family spent years in the courts fighting over a civil rights lawsuit against Kerr-McGee and its Cimarron nuclear plant. After a decade, the lawsuit was settled. Bill Silkwood says now he wants other questions settled.
I don't think that a lot of people understand the finality of it, how it ended up. They just think, well, the Silkwood case went on. There was a movie about it. Obviously, they killed her or they didn't kill her, and we're done with it. It wasn't the end of the story. The plant shut down. People who have worked at the plant have been, have gotten ill and passed, so there's so much more that happened after what everybody in their head thinks was the hard stop.
Karen was a person who cared. She saw most of the rest of the people in the plant as just young kids who didn't understand what radiation is, didn't understand what plutonium is, and were being exposed and didn't know what the implications were.
In the laboratory, we've got 18 and 19-year-old boys, and 20 and 21. I mean, and they didn't have the schooling, so they don't understand what radiation is.
So that was the situation as of the summer of 1974 when we first heard about what was going on at the Kerr-McGee plant. They both felt that the company was taking shortcuts and compromising the quality control. We said, look, if you're going to go up against Kerr-McGee on an issue like that, it's going to have to be documented. Karen then volunteered to go back when she returned back to Oklahoma, to go back and to see what she could pull together.
And I've got on here that we're still passing our wells, no matter what the pictures look like, no matter what the wells look like. We either grind down too far. And I've got a well I'd love for you to see here. Just how far they ground it down till we lost the well, trying to get rid of the voids, the inclusions, and the cracks. And I kept it.
We set the arrangements up for her to make this presentation to us on this quality control issue. And it was agreed that it would be on November 13th, 1974. And we had made arrangements with a reporter for the New York Times named David Burnham.
And one day in '74, Tony Mazzocchi of the Oil, Chemical, and Atomic Workers Union called me and said, would I be interested in meeting a woman who had a very interesting story and documents?
So the next thing that I knew was I got a phone call from Karen in the evening of November the 7th, 1974. And she told me that she had been contaminated already. I mean, from just what was already available from the AEC, it was clear that this plant had had repeated contamination incidents. Nobody needed to contaminate themselves purposely to prove that Kerr-McGee didn't know how to control its plutonium. It was already a pretty well-known fact.
But the whole point is that plutonium is so carcinogenic, is so potent, that it's now figured that, you know, under the conditions that you work under in that kind of a plant, you don't have to work there for 5 years. You might only have to work there for 1 friggin' month, and you've got enough of a body burden to cause cancer.
Oh,
That's
Dave, don't tell me that.
It's a death warrant. Now, it may take 20 years, it may take 10 years, but eventually it's going to kill you.
It is determined that Karen's apartment has been contaminated, as well as her roommate, Sherry Ellis, and a gentleman friend.
Sherry first came in. I had only been here for a couple of years, and she came in and she was like, well, I have some stuff. And it happened 5 or 6 times over a period of like 2 years. She made it very clear to me on her first visit here that she's dying of cancer. And she knows that she doesn't have anybody to inherit her stuff.
The bizarre story surrounding the Logan County woman with ties to Hollywood and an alleged nuclear power plant cover-up has become a part of Guthrie lore.
She was always an enigma, you know, as to, you know, what she did, what she said. There's all these weird things about, you know, rushing the plant with a rifle and climbing the fence and all that, but never being arrested, you know, something like that. It's an enigma, really, as to what was going on between Kerr-McGee and Sherry Ellis.
Does this have, it's connected to Karen Silkwood in your jacket? Could you explain?
Every bit of the final collection that we got, which is the her manuscript, came in via mail.
I'm looking through this and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. We've got this manuscript, this, you know, 3-book story of her life. And the only part of it we have is the first part when she's a kid. And it's like,
you guys have sound or no? Okay, sorry, just making sure.
And then we've got the you know, table of contents for book 2, which is the story of the nuclear power, you know, plant. And I'm like, where's that? That's the part I want to read. You know, this is where all the juicy details are. We don't have it. You know, we never had it.
So I don't know, you know, did she finish everything?
I met Sherry Ellis, also known as Dusty, in a freshman psychology class. She would mail me articles and letters and have notes written on it. It seemed to me like it was an effort to kind of convince me that Karen's death was not an accident. I'm running behind on the interview with the FBI, so I decided to go ahead and send you this. One of the mailings that she sent me was the first 3 chapters of her book.
I don't know that I can explain anything because I don't know what evidence I have left.
I think the book might have been finished because the table of contents that she gave me showed 300 plus pages on it. I think those pages are somewhere, but they just haven't been found by anybody. And I can't imagine she knowing where chapter 9 was going to start, what page number it was going to start on, if she didn't have it written already. But I can tell you that the person I met in that class was just a lovely woman who was thinking straight and was very coherent. And things changed a few years after Karen died. That's all I know.
Karen and DHP people from the plant went out to her apartment with the Geiger counters and surveyed their way in. And sure enough, it was hot. And the basic bottom line question was, is she going to live? The only answer to
the problem with that whole thing, guys, is how did the house get contaminated? Okay. That's it's not possible to bring home contamination from there the way that you are suited up and stuff when you're in that plant. That's what always got me with this. That's what told me that I believe that there were people doing this to her at the end of this, okay? Which is why I believe she was murdered as well. Because she was going to blow the whistle on this shit, and it would have caused a lot of problems, okay? Which it kind of did anyway. But there's a whole story that I read out of the book about how people showed up at her apartment a couple different times when she wasn't there, and that basically they physically contaminated her apartment purposely, which is insane to me. Which is how Sherry, the roommate, Dusty, whatever you want to call her, got the contamination, as well as the contamination that was happening. That she was purposely contaminated at work too. They did things to her, made her do certain things, knowing that it was going to cause contamination to get rid of her. This is really sad. They wanted badly to get rid of her because she wouldn't shut her mouth. She was trying to do the right thing, and well, this is what happened. So,
question. Would have been found at the AEC facility in Los Alamos, New Mexico, where they have these devices that can externally count how much plutonium you actually have inside you. So arrangements were made to send Karen there, and Drew and Sherry.
You gonna wait, Drew? Yeah.
Drew took no crap from nobody.
We were very young and naive. Drew was young and naive too.
I think the people of this state particularly need to know a whole lot more than they're probably ever going to know.
I was called from Los Alamos, and they gave me the results, and there was some sense of a relief, but she was worried that there was still this material in her. My expectation was that this whole thing with the documents and Burnham was totally off. And so she surprised me. She said, no, they're in a safe place. I want to go ahead. So that's what happened. We decided to go ahead. So I flew from Dallas to Oklahoma City. Burnham flew from Washington, D.C. to Oklahoma City. The three of us, Drew, Burnham, and I, we went to this room at the Holiday Inn Northwest. Some weird stuff started to happen, whereby my reservation was canceled. And of course, I hadn't canceled it. So I ended up sharing a room with Burnham.
You didn't think much of it, but looking back, could there have been, something going on there?
It was weird. I traveled extensively. I always stayed at a Holiday Inn. It was the first time in years and years I arrived at a Holiday Inn and someone had canceled out my reservation. That was weird. Then we get to the room and we're trying to make phone calls, and the phone didn't work. That was weird. Eventually, the phone did work, but it was never explained to us what happened.
We got the lead that there was electronic surveillance going on of people in the nuclear industry. But we started to do the investigation, and we found out that the LEIU stands for the Law Enforcement Intelligence Unit.
Because LEIU is a private organization. That's the way the thing's set up. It's a private organization, 224 men. And each and every one of the 224 men in their public lives are intelligence officers. But they're in the private lives of LEIU. That's right. And the fact is, the material doesn't belong to their organization. It's designed specifically so that you can't get at it.
My name is Joe Royer, and I'm an investigator for Daniel P. Sheehan.
You know, my dad was he lived life. He lived life very well. He was a jack of all trades. You know, anybody that knew the name Joe Royer knew that, okay, this dude is going to walk in here and sell me something that I don't need, but I'm going to buy it because it's Joe Royer.
She was involved in this, trying to find out this information on Kerr McGee, the contamination of employees out there at the plutonium plant, and they felt that she was a thorn in their side, and they wanted to find out everything she was doing.
My mom had these storage units that she's had for 30 years that have been unopened. So we get in there and we were looking. This was last year, I think about May or June of last year. We're in there looking. Last container. We're on this last container. And it's, 3/4, almost completely empty. And I walk over there and there's this box. It's a, probably a 3 foot by 3 foot box that's kind of flat and everything. And it's sitting in the very back corner of this container. And it's got Silkwood written on it. But in there, we find these tapes and open it up and books and some other stuff and everything. And just at that moment, you're like, oh my God.
They had all the equipment available at that time in 1974. And it's obvious that they were capable of doing this because of what you told me about transcribing what you refer to as the log tapes.
He kept a lot of things close to him, and the Karen Silkwood case was one of those.
Why did you refer to Larry Baker as the wiretap king? Oh, that's Gotham again. And nobody else has been making a wiretap Larry again.
Well, I got a good title, didn't I? I'm the king of the wiretaps.
Why do you think they said your name? Why do you think that you were the one who got pulled into that?
Well, probably because I did some of that stuff. In intelligence division, you do things, but you got to understand on phone calls, tapping, houses and stuff like that. You can have a one-party consent. As long as one party knows that it's being done, you can do it. If not, you've got to get all sorts of court papers and everything.
At the time that I was in there, Larry Baker was nowhere around. He wasn't involved. Okay.
What I understand is that you were involved in an investigation of Drew Stevens and Karen Silkwood, which started in 1974, about June or July of 1974, and that you first came in contact with Drew and Stevens and Karen Silkwood at the Pizza Hut on Classen Boulevard. Is that correct?
Okay, I'll tell you, the OCPD was their only interest in the thing was, whether or not, there was any huge amount of drug traffic going on, which, as far as I know, which I don't know everything, they figured there wasn't, and so that's part of it was dropped. They were concerned whether or not anybody had a right to have that M16, and they determined that he did.
I fully expected that by this point in time, Silkwood would have shown up.
And she never came. And it got later and later.
I got a phone call from Crescent PD saying that I need a record south of the 33 highway. And I told her, I said, well, call my service manager because I don't usually run the wrecker. So the dispatcher at the time was my aunt. And she tells me that it was Karen Silkwood's car because I didn't know at the time.
2 key points were immediately raised. Was Karen's Honda Civic run off the road? And did she have incriminating documents in her possession?
It was during the 80s, and I worked for a law firm downtown. A lady was hired who was filling the bookkeeping position and payroll. And her name was Helen. And she said, I'm going to tell you something. I was sworn to secrecy, but you need to invite me over for dinner. We invited her to dinner, and she came over, and we were having a nice, friendly dinner. Our son was young at the time. And then after dinner, it got serious. And she told us that she was on dispatch the night that Karen died. And the call came in about the death, and she did what she normally does and called out different branches of police. And then immediately she got a call back telling her to call everyone off, pull them all back, don't let them come to the scene. And so she did. And
she had no choice.
She had no choice. So she did. She called them all back.
Before Ted Sebring was called to the scene on November 13th, a separate wrecker driver was dispatched to the scene of Karen's crash. Now, according to FBI interviews, that wrecker driver was directly behind the ambulance when he was told to turn around and return to Guthrie.
It's odd to me that there's that much secrecy around it for, what one side claims was a single car accident.
So Rick Fagan was the investigating officer with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So I think we met up with him at the Guthrie Police Department, and we told him who we were and that she was coming to meet us that night. And do you have any information on what caused her car to crash? And he said, yes, she fell asleep at the wheel. And we said, wait a minute, she couldn't have fallen asleep at the wheel. She had just gotten on the road a few minutes earlier. And Mr. Fagan, you don't understand. She was on her way to a very important meeting. It's not the kind of meeting it was not the kind of thing you would just fall asleep on the way to. And I'll never forget this.
Here's my issue with that answer, always, and it has been since I became an adult and started following this. If she was dead on arrival when they got there, you saw the car, it was smashed to shit. It was already a small car, but it was crunched like an accordion. How do they know she fell asleep? Somebody answer this for me. How did they know that she fell asleep and that's why she went off the road? If she was dead when they got there, she couldn't have told them that. There's no witnesses to it. So how do they know that she fell asleep? That's the thing that should be being questioned, in my opinion. And they're not saying that at all. Anybody, somebody, in my opinion, that only comes out as an assumption or a narrative that they're putting out on purpose. Okay. And like he started to say, there's no way in hell that she fell asleep knowing where she was going. She was going to a very, very, very important meeting where the whistleblowing process was coming out at this point. Okay. That's exactly what it is, Tomboy. It's a cover story. It is a complete cover story. You know about this stuff, Tom. You're welcome to join me tonight if you want to, Tomboy, because I know this is something that you knew about. It's definitely a cover story, and they know that that's not what happened. She was, in my opinion, was pushed off the road purposely. Okay, and this is why I claim that she was murdered. They didn't want her to get to that meeting because she was going to divulge information that would have started the problem. Okay, that information was in the vehicle of her vehicle. It was in the car with her when she was headed to where she was going, so on and so forth. So, this people like to call, well, you're a conspiracy. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I will never take another story somebody gives me on this case. I promise you, because of everything that I know about what happened. Right. Where are the files? Where are the files? They were with her and then they weren't. No, I don't think she was either. I don't even think she was drugged, Barbara. She was wide awake and ready to go for this meeting. This is bullshit.
This, and Fagan says to us, I'm going to treat it as a falling asleep at the wheel case unless you can prove something different. And that was it.
Look at the car. Look at the car. Nope, nope, nope.
At the time of Miss Silkwood's fatality crash, I was a lieutenant assigned to the training division. We had our young trooper that had worked it. Trooper by the name of Rick Fagan. He was fairly new on the patrol, and the commissioner said, "Just go look and make sure we've."
I agree, Tomboy, completely.
Dotted the I's and crossed the T's. We were basically looking for anything that would be unusual in a sleep-related accident. Fagan was pretty sure that she had fallen asleep and run off the road. She went off the road with not sideways, not rotating.
I do not think that she died asleep at the wheel on the way to the most important meeting of her life. I don't think that happened at all. That's not, I know what didn't happen. What did happen, I leave to the experts in accident reconstruction, but I know that it didn't, I'm convinced, based on my review of everything, that it did not happen.
She was on her way
Take a
to a
look at the
very
car
important
again, guys.
meeting. It's not the kind of meeting it was not the kind of thing you would just fall asleep on the way to. And I'll never forget this. And Fagan says to us, I'm going to treat it as a falling asleep at the wheel case unless you can prove something different. And that was it.
At the time of...
I think that she was pushed from the corner, or like pushed her, okay? Like come behind her and shoved her, probably with a truck, because this car is tiny. From the passenger side, rear of the car, to the left of the road, down into the culvert is what I think happened. Okay, and they took the files from the trunk of her vehicle, or whatever else was in her car, and she died. It would not at all, Mikey. You could push this car just a tinge and it would throw it off the road. If there were little, it didn't take much. Not at all. I'm trying to get to the back end of the car.
Miss Silkwood's fatality crash, I was...
You see this right here? Right here. That's where I think she was clipped at, right there. Okay? I think she was clipped here. See this light over here is busted? I think it was a truck. And it clipped her here and picked, kind of pushed her from this side, which shoved her to the left. And all the damage, look at this whole side, the whole corner here. The whole front end is completely accordioned, and this whole corner here looks like she went down this way, okay? And you see that the front seat's pushed clear up into the windshield, too. So that could have been what killed her, too, but this was done purposely. She didn't do this at all. Right. I'm telling you, this is what probably happened, folks. She was clipped back here on this side in the back. And it shoved her off the road, head on into the culvert. Right. That's exactly what I think happened.
A lieutenant assigned to the training division. We had our young trooper that had worked it. Trooper by the name of Rick Fagan. He was fairly new on the patrol, and the commissioner said, "Just go look and make sure we've, dotted the I's and crossed the T's." We were basically looking for anything that would be unusual in a sleep-related accident. Fagan was pretty sure that she had fallen asleep and run off the road. She went off the road with not sideways, not road.
See, take a look at this here. This is the accident scene itself. I'm telling you, that if this is her car here, starting here, no, Molly, and not that I saw. I think it started here. She was shoved this direction. Okay. And then boom.
Rotating.
I do not think that she died asleep at the wheel on the way to the most important meeting of her life. I don't think that happened at all. That's not, I know what didn't happen. What did happen, I leave to the experts on accident reconstruction, but I know that it didn't, I'm convinced, based on my review of everything, that it did not happen the way the Highway Patrol report said.
We needed someone independent of the local police to take a look at this whole thing.
The gentleman by the name of A.O. Pipkin, who was an accident reconstructionist in Dallas, had come up and done a accident reconstruction, and that kind of fueled the fire. They found a mark on the left side below the bumper.
There it is. See, that would have spun her out probably and shoved her down too if they clipped her right there. So if she went down head first, and I've been on thousands of accident scenes, if she would have went into that culvert head first, why is there a dent back here? Anybody?
That he attributed to the vehicle being struck by another vehicle. And the record driver pulled up south of the wing wall.
Hold on.
A accident reconstruction, and that kind of fueled the fire.
Okay, now also, it's hard to see. I don't have good glasses these days or good eyes. I'm trying to be honest. Like a pit maneuver, Molly. That's exactly it. Okay. It looks like there's paint rub there as well. So there's damage here, down here, and here. And over here, of course.
Found a mark on the left side below the bumper that he attributed to the vehicle being struck.
Exactly like a pit maneuver. This is how police cars, think about that for a minute too. If they're in a pursuit, like a high-speed pursuit, this is how they will spin people out to shut them down or to stop them, okay? Doing a pit maneuver like this, because okay, say this person's following her and she catches onto it, so she's trying to get away. Depending on the rate of speed she's going faster than she normally would to get away from this person. If you catch somebody just a little bit, all you got to do is bump. That's going to spin that car out and shove it in a different direction. Okay, throw it off its track. Boom. That's all it takes.
Struck by another vehicle, and the record driver pulled up south of the wing wall. He hooked to the towing hook and pulled the car back up over the wing wall, and it made that mark when it crossed the wing wall.
See, they're trying to say that the tow truck caused that mark, and this guy said that his record did not cause that mark on the car. So whoever that guy is trying to say that's how that happened. I don't believe it either. That's another thing. This was in the book too. Pipkin had the dents analyzed that were on the vehicle, okay, by 2 experts, and the results found that there was no concrete pieces or particles on the vehicle whatsoever, which would have stated that the way they're saying is the car hit that and that's what caused her to do that. There was no concrete on the car. The FBI also took scrapings from the same dents, and their lab also found no concrete. So how does that fit? How does that work? I think there was a pitted paint transfer, Molly. That's what that back dent showed a little bit, I think. But their story about her hitting that wake wall and going into the culvert doesn't make any sense because there's no concrete on the vehicle. It would have left pieces or particles of concrete on that vehicle, and there's none. Both the FBI did that, and 2 other experts found that there was none there. Explain that.
Now keep in mind, she covered almost a football field before she hit the culvert and made no attempt to steer, made no attempt to brake. And, that's not somebody that is awake and alert.
Or it's somebody that's already dead for whatever reason.
Trying to keep from having a wreck.
Only somebody holding on to that steering wheel could have gone in that trajectory, because if she really had been asleep, she would have lived, because the curvature of the land would have pulled the car more and more out to essentially a grassy area, a pasture, whatever you want to call it out there. She would have lived. She never, ever would have gotten anywhere close to that culvert.
And Drew taught her how to race, and you look at that car and look at her bracing for the impact and bending the wheel, and
Maybe the accident portion was just that. It was a tragic accident, but then the cover up started.
So Sebring's garage had supposedly pulled all the personal effects that were in the car and put them in a old oil can box, put a piece of tape around it, and they handed it to us. So we're in Burnham's car. We've got Drew, Burnham, and myself. We're tearing the thing open to see what she was bringing us. There was nothing in there about quality control, about tests, about photographs, negatives, and nothing like that. It was all regarding the collective bargaining negotiations. That's all that was there. So the combination of those 2 experiences, that, wait a minute, where's the documents? And Fagan insisting that she must have fallen asleep at the wheel, I felt like we were really in hostile territory. Now, interestingly, there were 3 people who were traveling the highway who were the first to come across the accident site. The culvert is carrying a little stream. There's mud on each side of the stream. Anything that, and the car comes to rest on its left-hand side, on the driver's side. So if there's no windshield, everything is over like this. All right. The 3 guys, they say, there were papers all around it. And they say that the cops who showed up, the highway patrolman, picked up the papers and tossed them back in the car. All right. None of the papers that were given to us the following day on November 14th at Sebring's garage had mud on them. Absolutely none of them.
So I went home, went to bed. 3 hours later, she called me. She says, the nuclear people want to in there to look at this car.
The same two guys who I had talked to earlier that night. The third one was Jerry Sinke. This is where the differences between 1974, 75 and today in 2024, 50 years later. Because I've now had a chance to look at the records, the AEC's records, the FBI's records, Kerr-McGee's records. I looked at the entire trial, all the transcript, all the documents produced in discovery. And I was able to organize them. It was a lot of paper. And what I found out was that her urine kits and her fecal kits that she continued to use even after November the 8th were spiked. And he concludes that not only was it hot, that it contained, this is a fecal sample, it contained plutonium that had been added to it. In other words, was not excreted by Karen Silkwood, but had been in that container. The point I guess I'm trying to make is that this never came out of trial. This sample that was given at Baptist Hospital was the proof that Silkwood didn't do it. Her whole life was shattered by this point in time. She saw clearly how dangerous the situation is. Kerr-McGee would have you think that she would have continued with this scheme even after the 7th of November and kept it going. It doesn't make any sense. Clearly, she was the victim of somebody at the plant who spiked her kits that she picked up on November the 5th, 1974.
There were some suspects, but it's impossible to prove how she got contaminated. We just know that she got contaminated.
But I can honestly bet that most of the people that were involved have passed. There's probably one or two, I wouldn't even say key players. I'm sure all the key players have gone because, if they were my age or even slightly younger, they'd be 90 or 100 years old now.
I think Larry Upchurch is the one I need to talk to next. He's the only one I haven't talked to. And I think he's going to be the one that's going to help me.
I'm a retired lieutenant from the Oklahoma City Police Department.
Now that I'm recording, I just want to make sure I have it on the record that it's okay with you that I record.
Yes.
I am probably just going to go over the same stuff we talked about, so I apologize for making you repeat yourself again. I just want to make sure, like I said, everything's on the record the way you're saying it. I definitely don't want to misinterpret anything at all.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'll just start at the beginning. If you could just talk to me a little bit about what you did in the department as it related to Kerr-McGee or the Silkwood case. Anything you remember from that time?
At that time, I worked in the intelligence detail, which was directly out of the chief's office. Silkwood was brought to our attention by retired Lieutenant Jim Reading, who was the security director for Kerr-McGee.
Jim Reading's job was to protect Kerr-McGee at all costs.
But how about Reading? When did you first report to Reading? That part of it I don't want to get into. What was this other question? That I don't want to get into. As far as what I know about the OCPD thing, I'll give you. Why don't you want to get into it about Reading? Well, I just don't.
I think there's a lot more that Jim Breeding and his rest of his security team did that we don't know about.
Yeah, I talked to James Reed after her death. What did you talk to him about after her death? Well, you know, everybody seems to be running around looking for conspiracy that probably isn't there.
And my understanding is that Kerr McGee got a group and they did the special investigation. That's
Because that was reading. That was
right. That was right. That was what reading did.
Kerr McGee was, was concerned about whether or not there were any, plots or conspiracies to, develop plutonium or anything else. I mean, you would be too if you were in charge of a, nuclear facility.
During that time, did Reading ever, whenever he brought this to your attention, do you remember kind of what his reason was to put surveillance on Silkwood?
I think it was something to do with Silkwood being contaminated and documents or something being taken out of the facility at Crescent.
When you all would do surveillance, can you talk about what that looked like, what all that entailed?
Well, it was following people, seeing what their activity was, taking photographs. On occasion, court ordered wiretapping, although I don't remember any wiretapping on the Silkwood that we were involved in.
Whenever you all would follow Silkwood, would you guys just follow her wherever she went, I guess, to work, to her house, just places like that?
Yes.
So when you were doing surveillance, it wasn't just on Silkwood, right? It was on a whole group. Can you just talk about maybe some other people that you all were doing surveillance on?
It was a group that run around with Silkwood, and forgive me, I can't remember names that long ago. I remember one was her boyfriend.
He was followed everywhere. We were followed everywhere. All of our phones were tapped.
We noticed some weird stuff going on. We noticed we could hear, when I would call Drew Stevens, we could hear clicking on the lines. And we could hear all of a sudden the connection's going dead. We would get mail from him to us that had been open, clearly had been open. So after the death, I think some things happened. Who was doing it? I don't know.
Now tell me this. The notebook you photographed for Drew Stevens? Okay. Did he ask you to photograph it, or did you suggest? He asked me so as to have a separate record. He was quite paranoid. I was going to comment, I don't want to relay that to him, but he was quite paranoid at the time. He thought his phone was bugged, and his house was under surveillance, and that he might be bumped off any minute. He was very paranoid.
Drew was trying to send information and things about all this to someplace safe. I think he knew that he was possibly in real trouble.
Will you tell us if you gave them to the FBI or? I will not say anything about it at all.
So I'm thinking that probably after the call in to KTOK, he was going, oh my God, I need to document everything I can and get this to somebody where it will survive.
Let's take plutonium as an example and examine its toxic heavy metal qualities in addition to the effect of the radiation that you would receive in inhaled quantities.
Well, we really need a medical man here as well, but in general, I would imagine that a few micrograms of plutonium in the body would probably end up in the bones, and you would eventually have a bone cancer.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you for calling, sir.
It's just different to see his writing, hear his thoughts, and try to read between the lines and see exactly how concerned he was.
It's so heartbreaking to hear him say he just wished he could hold her again. Hold her one more time.
It was 1995, and I moved to Edmond. Was living with some friends. Had driven by where I thought the accident took place. Saw that Drew had a body shop in Edmond, and that was the number I could find. So I left a voicemail, and I never heard back. But I also remember it being within a week of when he actually passed.
There's not much left of the single-engine Laser Edge plane. Part of a wing is about the only thing recognizable. The plane crashed in a wheat field west of the Air Park runway just minutes after 10 this morning. The pilot, Drew Stevens, was practicing aerobatic maneuvers when the plane went down.
I don't know if he heard my voice and was building up the courage to call me back, or if maybe one of his workers, took the message, wrote it on a piece of paper, and it got lost. So I never got to actually speak to him. When you finally get the courage up to reach out to somebody, and then shortly thereafter they meet in a very untimely, odd at the time death, it's just, you almost want to run back down and not make any.
And see, that's the other thing too, is that he died in a strange way as well. Okay. And I'm sorry, but I can't say that it doesn't make me go, again, same scenario. I just got to say, irony and coincidence, very strange things.
Waves for a while.
In November 1974, the union requested to the Department of Justice that her death be investigated. And it was at that point in time that the Department of Justice asked the FBI to launch a formal investigation. And it was assigned to
do me a favor,
an FBI agent in Oklahoma City named Larry Olson. And immediately, this is from the FBI's records, Olson contacted Kerr McGee Security and essentially set up an arrangement to work hand in glove with Kerr McGee, and that's what happened. So Olson, he interviews all the right people. He interviews Van Diestag, and Van Diestag tells him in excruciating detail that sample that he got from Silkwood, which was the one at Baptist Hospital, was contaminated, was spiked. Then what happens is that instead of going back and determining, okay, who would have had access to these kits, this kit that was given to her on November the 5th, he doesn't do anything. Ultimately, the United States Congress has an investigation.
Good night, Tomboy. Feel better.
And it's clearly pointed out that both the AEC and the FBI had failed. And Olson says, well, I looked at that whole thing, I studied that whole thing, and I determined that the distribution of those sample kits was totally random, that nobody knew until the person walked up to that shelf which ones they were going to pull off the shelf. Well, that was a total lie, a total fabrication. So a few weeks after this hearing in 1976, the FBI issues its final report on Silkwood's contamination. And the report is that it's only a paragraph long. It says, well, because her kits were contaminated, she must have done it. And that was it. That's their report to the American people.
heard that you've got a contact with the FBI.
I do.
And that relating to the contamination incident. Could you relate that to us?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
What's going on there?
Okay, my contact tells me, okay, that espionage is not to be ruled out in this case. He won't go any further than that.
They're missing 40 pounds of bomb-grade plutonium, enough to make like 3 atomic bombs the size of Hiroshima.
Internally, in the plant, a lot of people knew what the muff was. I mean, because there were times in which all production.
She probably went to bed. Well, no worries.
Was just totally shut down. And they went through this procedure where they would try to essentially wash down everything internally into the plant to find the missing plutonium in the pipes so that they could zero out the muff number. So internally in the plant, people knew, yeah, there was a muff. So it was not some great big secret. And to someone like Silkwood, it would mean, well, it's just more evidence of the fact that there's contamination going on because some of that muff is in her lungs and the lungs of her coworkers.
There's always inventory shrinkage. A kilogram, 25 kilograms of missing plutonium in the inventory. That's more than can be found because they say, oh, it's in the pipes, and it's impossible. Because when they decommissioned, they didn't find anything.
Somebody was watching her. I think at that point, they may have thought that she was also stumbled across the missing plutonium. Whether she did or not, I don't know for sure.
5 years after her death, the Silkwood case went to the courts.
Former plutonium worker James Knoll was employed at the Cimarron facility for 5 years. He said the workers were never told about the dangers of plutonium and that any worker could carry out as much plutonium as they wanted, as often as they wanted.
Now, there is that trial testimony by James Noel. He testifies, and he's testifying from notes that he took from this night in October 1974, that Silkwood called him and she was upset as to what she was seeing, and she mentioned the fact that the muff, the material unaccounted for, was such and such. I think she definitely called Noel. I think he's credible. And the judge had ruled that if the proof was that Karen Silkwood had intentionally spiked her samples, then Kern McGee wasn't liable at all. So Kern McGee set out in that trial to prove that she had done that. That was their line.
It was not only contamination, but Karen's personal life that surfaced many times in the 6-week trial.
Get all the dirt you can and then sling it and see what sticks on the wall.
But we've also learned the FBI is keeping close tabs on a theory that Karen may have become contaminated by smuggling nuclear material, namely plutonium, from the Kerr-McGee facility.
If a person was diverting material, why at the same time would they keep trying to bring so much attention upon themselves, as Karen was doing from about September on?
Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, that theory to me makes little sense. So then I guess the next question that comes to my mind is why, that the FBI is bothering to take a look at this thing at all. And I'm sure there's a reason.
And Judge Seiss came in and kind of changed the way things worked. He was the perfect judge for that long, contentious trial because he was very level-headed.
The problem is we got so high into what was going on that the CIA freaked out. and came in and just shut down our entire count one.
And unknown to us until much later, the CIA and the FBI came to see him to encourage him not to allow us to assert where the missing plutonium went to.
KOCO's investigations uncovered a biography written by Judge Tice. In it, he details a secret court hearing that happened before a witness was to testify that plutonium taken from Kerr-McGee was actually being smuggled into foreign countries to be used to build nuclear bombs. We know the FBI and CIA met with Judge Tice, but we don't know, no one does, what was said inside that room.
Judge Tice gets up on the stand and he said, well, Mr. Sheehan, you can be certain that it's sinister, but it's also most definitely secret. He said, this is just a glass mountain that you're not going to be allowed to climb in this case.
So he did a memo and sealed it in case the 10th Circuit needed to look at it.
So, did you all have any theories as to where that missing plutonium was?
Well, Danny did.
You're walking right into something like you don't have the slightest idea what you're dealing with here. These guys, this is the highest echelons of the most covert operations of the Central Intelligence Agency.
First on the stand was Kenneth Plowman, a health physics technician at the plant from 1969 to 1972. Silkwood attorney Jerry Spence asked him why he left. Plowman said it was because contamination was everywhere. The equipment leaked and no one tried to control it. He said he found plutonium contamination in the lunchroom, on the grounds, and said workers played with the plutonium pellets. He said he reported these incidents to the Atomic Energy Commission, but they did nothing about it.
There is a NRC report that they published, which
I did, Walt. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate
said
that
she was
very
right
much.
about the problems.
It surprises me how much of it is still there. You know, you look at it from the outside, and if you didn't know what you were driving past, you wouldn't even pay any attention to it. The people who live around it don't even pay any attention to it. But again, because it's a 50-year-old story, and it's been closed for 45 of those 50 years. So, but you know, you go inside and you can see where the rods were
Appreciate it,
stored
brother.
and where the carve out of the concrete wall.
I think we're in a better position, you know, in a lot of our industries with our workers because of people like your mom.
Who she became, the martyr that she became, the story, the history, looking back on it, all of that. I mean, it warms you up inside that she didn't die for no reason, you know, because of the changes that took place, the safety measures that were there, the plant shutting down, whether they admitted that they were wrong or not, you know, they kind of swept it under the rug, shut it down, and snuck out with their tail between their legs. That wouldn't have happened, you know. So that part of it makes you proud as a son, especially that she did it and that happened, whether she did it for that reason or not. I don't, in my head, believe that what they did to her was intentional. As far as I think they were trying to force her off the road, maybe scare her, maybe intimidate her.
I asked him about the car incident, and I said, what do you think? You know, was it a homicide? And was it an accident? What was it? You know, and that's whenever he told me, he goes, I think it was an accident. Well, we know it was an accident. We know it was a car accident, but, you know, probably know that somebody was following her that night. He would never elaborate.
You don't believe that there was any foul play, and so from what you've heard, you all didn't suspect there to be anybody else involved in this car accident.
Not in the car accident.
But what I can tell you is the man stayed tight-lipped about it all the way through. I mean, this was 2022. And you're thinking, okay, 90% of the people are gone.
What were they mainly interested in? Was it guns? Was it marijuana? Was it smuggling plutonium? To your knowledge?
answered.
You have all these multiple different parties involved, you know, and then what if you have just the perfect storm? All these people all of a sudden converge on her at once.
All have
And
a
then-
vested interest for different reasons, whether
Different
it was
reasons, right.
the contamination,
Correct.
the poorly run plant, all of the things. Everybody has a vested interest in making it go away,
Correct.
making the story go away. I know that people that are working on it now still get told when they make certain calls to certain people, hey, you might want to let that one go. And, you know, it's, again, 50 years later. There's no telling if we'll ever get an absolute answer, a definitive closure. But if anybody knows anything, or if, you know, there were confessions on their, as they were passing, or they passed the story on to their children, those are the people that we're really trying to find. Is if maybe you weren't directly involved, but, you know somebody that was, or you're related to somebody that was, or, you know, you've got this document, that document. We just are running out of time. So it would be nice to, if there's anybody that would like to let us know, that'd be a good time to come forward.
There it is, folks. That's the short version of everything. Still a pretty wild situation. And I still would like to delve into the case personally myself. And really bring it out to the surface and see if we see something maybe that wasn't seen 50 years later. You know what I mean? So just curious. Really am. Let me see here. Hold on. All right, y'all. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Like I said, sorry, guys. I thought there was more to the collapse in Kentucky. There wasn't, but at least we get to cover that expose on the Silkwood thing before we get into the actual case itself. I will be here in the morning for the morning show. I hope to see you guys then. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I think that's going to do it, folks. Have a great evening. Don't forget, love yourselves, love each other. Don't change a thing. You guys are amazing. Have a beautiful night, folks. Good night. God bless, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Typing at the speed of light, hunting down the shadows, bringing wrongs to right, digging deep in the data, facts sharp as a knife. With every single story, he's fighting for a life. A voice for the voiceless, he won't stay quiet. Diego's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. Streaming loud and clear, cracking cases open, hearts filled with fear. His channel's a beacon in a world gone wrong. He guides us through the chaos, a soldier so strong. The clicks and the lights, they follow his lead. With every new case, he plants a new seed. Sharing their stories, giving hope where it fades. Diego's a warrior through the trials he waits. In a world of silence, he shouts out their names. Diego's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. From the shadows you rise, are streaming loud and clear. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. Daigle's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness.